All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. Daniel Haney is with us, dude. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hi.
Hey, I just want to thank you so much for coming to the show, and it's going to be fun because this is you. Listen, we didn't really skate together, right? But we were in the same circle. We were in the hot rod
the
circle.
Courthouse together.
Yes, but I would go to manual pad, and you would go to a humongous rail.
Yeah.
You know, so I did get to experience some of the Daniel Haney madness, which became, you know, just synonymous with your skating. Was just the most crazy, insane rails. You know,
For the time.
for the time. Yeah.
Still, if you look back at those, dude.
There you can see how that's the warm up. Honestly, like dude, what kids are doing now, I don't want to try.
Jamie Foy.
Are you kidding me?
Right.
Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like, that's good, yeah?
We can
Yeah.
express yourself however you want.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like putting, like, a good day would be, you know, a 25 stair curve rail, or like
It's a good day.
but then you look at, so now it's like 25 stair curve rail that then goes straight and then turns into, it's like putting two of my awesome handrails together. And they're like, I see what you did there. I like that, but
Right.
I'm gonna get the combo.
I never, but it's funny because like we were in the same kind of circle, the hot rod. You came out from Arkansas to do your thing. You said before the show started, you came out in '95, right?
Yeah.
That's which is early. Because I started skating in '91. What year did you start? Like when I say
end of '87, I got a skateboard for Christmas.
when did you start to
87.
do tricks though? Like when did you start to try to ollie or do something?
Immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Like my mom offered. My brother had brought home like a couple of skateboards. Like, actually, was a kid down the street had like a penny, like a little banana board, and we were fucking around on that thing, and it got me in a way, you know, like in a way I can't explain. Like all of a sudden, it was like all I wanted to do was feel what it was like to ride on that thing.
Yeah.
And so I would hang out with this dude all the time. We went camping. We went to the lake to go water skiing, and I brought that skateboard. You know what I mean? Because I was like, if there's any smoothness, I'm riding. You know,
right.
And I'm already in my favorite place. So it's like, it was like love at first sight. So then my mom's like, I'll buy you a real skateboard.
Oh, perfect.
And she's like, I'll buy it. Now we're at Toys R Us. And
that's
it's
not
like
a real skateboard.
That's my point. Yeah. And so she's like, I'll get you a skateboard right now. Cause we're looking at those I don't think that was the intention to get a skateboard, but you see the skateboards and you're like, oh, cool. And she's like, I'll get you a skateboard right now. Or if I'll get you like a real skateboard if you want to wait till Christmas. And this is like in November or something. And my brother's like, I want a skateboard now. And he got a Veriflex. And I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm going to wait till the good shit.
Discipline.
You knew back then it was that you.
I think I don't, in the beginning, I knew I loved it, you know, in a way that I never felt about any of the other activities that I did. But I don't think I knew pretty quickly that was what I was going to do. Like by 13, probably like a couple months in, I realized, man, there's a lot involved in that. I realized I was poor, and I wound up in a middle-class living situation. And I think that was a gift in recognizing like, oh, something else exists. You know, I don't have to live like this. People live like this. And then, okay, how do I get here? And then you see other people. I can't remember what, it was like a Gons video where he's like skating handrails in New York. I don't know what, it's like a Vision video.
Okay.
And you start to see like, oh, people do this for a living. You know, like I can do this. This is a thing.
Right.
And so I was like, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And literally full on commit from like 13 on.
Wait, did you think that since you saw handrails right away, did you think that that's like, I want to skate handrails to get gnarly?
That
like
was your path.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Honestly, the handrail thing came, I wouldn't say later, because I think I started off just doing what everybody else was doing. You know, just skating, because favorite thing about it, there's no rules, right? It's not like you have to do this. It can be whatever the fuck you want it to be. And so I saw some kids like cavemaning handrails, and I learned to caveman handrails and early on. But you know what? I guess I did actually skate handrails. But taking it to the next level didn't really happen until here.
You came out to LA.
Yeah.
Did you have like a local shop that you had in Arkansas that kind of nothing like that?
I tell you what we did have in Arkansas is this guy Paige Hearns, and he made skateboards. Like talking about kismet, right? So I started skating in Georgia, which was where in the middle class living, and decide I'm going to be a pro skateboarder. And so much so, like it like concerned my stepdad and my mom. They like at dinner, they're like, hey, just you need to focus on school. You know, it wasn't, like bitter or cynical. It was just like a reality check. It's like, you're kind of getting lost a little bit. It's probably, this thing is harder than you think it is, kind of thing.
And back then there was no road, right? There was no road map. Like parents, what are you doing? You're silly
totally.
toy, you know?
Yeah.
There's no, they don't see it.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. And so at the time I took that almost like a challenge, you know? I would say offensively, but it was like, fuck it, I will do this. I will do that, you know? And yeah, man, I fully believed in me, you know, like up until the point when I got to California.
You were like, why?
Because I...
Skill level at that time? How old were you when you got to California?
19.
You said, okay.
Yeah. I had my plan was to come out here at 18. When I graduated, it was like, I'm coming, but I got in trouble with the law.
Okay.
And had to wait a year. And even I had a court hearing that I had to go back to even after getting settled.
You couldn't leave the state?
No, I was bonded out. And so I contacted the bondsman and I don't know what, get something to, here's where I'm going to be. Like, I'm not leaving. I'm coming back for my court date. And they let me come to California.
Oh, okay.
So I was able to come out here and give it a go.
Nice.
And yeah, man, a couple of people had come out a few months before me. And so when I got here, they had already met Dan and Matt, and Hot Rod had just opened. And they were telling me stories about this dude that's like switch heel flipping trash cans at Courthouse. And I'm like, fucking seriously? You know, like somebody, we see videos. So keep in mind, this is in 95 VHS at best.
Yeah.
And we're in Arkansas. You know what I mean? So there's a delay, where we're getting, like, you're doing the tricks out here. You are skating with the people that are making the videos. We're not. We're seeing the videos and then going, that's what's possible. Okay, this is what I got to work on. Do this, this, and this.
You're catch up.
Yeah, totally. And you get out here, and Chris Roberts is switch heel flipping trash cans at the courthouse. No sponsor.
That's
like,
right. That's
no,
right.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And everyone's so good. People, and there's so many of them. Like, the courthouse is packed and everyone's fucking killing. Everyone's better than me. And so it's like a reality. Like, I think I had, like, out of just sheer will, had been like, not pay, like not living in reality, like slightly delusional. I'm going to be a pro skateboarder, and,
did that shape you to skate differently?
100%.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, there was a sharp pivot towards big ass fucking handrails that no one wanted to do.
That was my,
that was
going to be
it.
a question. Like, what drove you to jump down these rails?
Well, like I said, I think I probably did have a predilection for it early on. Like the feeling of it, like the thrill of it, all the little pieces, It's very simple too. Simple, not easy,
Yeah.
Whereas like trying to do switch flip, switch back, tail shove, is going to take some time and commitment.
Right.
And I didn't want to do that. Like, like I just want to feel it move. I want to feel the skateboard move.
Right.
And that shit was like almost like torture. Nothing against it. I love to watch it, and especially after how fucking dedicated people are to do it. Where you're like, that motherfucker put a whole 3-minute part out of nothing but those things.
Right.
Some easier, yeah. Some do it easier than others. That's for sure.
Man,
but the process is.
It'll
definitely
still
different for
surprise you. The
everybody.
people that you are the best at it
Yeah.
are still filming something. The thing they still have a level, like they want to be challenged, and so they're like, "Fuck, I can do that easy." That's how you get Rodney versus Day One. You know what I mean? Because then they're like, "What is the level? What?" I don't know. We're gonna stack a bunch of picnic tables together and see what the fuck happens.
Straight up. So that was your kind of driving force, was like seeing everybody at the courthouse, Westlake Courthouse, and then just being like, okay, I gotta you're already doing rails, but you want to step up the game. Because I'm trying to think of 95, right? Like you come out here in 95, you're 19 years old. Like a couple years earlier, it was you had Frankie Hill doing the big
I loved
rails.
Frankie Hill. I love and Pat Duffy.
Then I was going to say Pat
Ooh,
Duffy in the Plan B video. So we were on the cusp of getting, people were starting to get go buck, with the rails.
Well, that thing. So, man, when that Plan B video came out, and I saw Pat Duffy grind that double kink, I was convinced it was fake. I was like, "There's no way." There's legit. I don't think anybody can understand how groundbreaking that was. That was a round rail with wheels barely bigger than your bearings.
Yeah. He did a lot of groundbreaking things. In
that whole part. That whole part was just flooring. Yeah. And so I think that in and of itself, hell
this
yeah.
is it right here.
Yeah, I mean, this right here probably was the first thing that was just blew my mind wide open.
The pan up too.
Yeah,
this is what he's
Perfect
about to
filming.
do.
Yeah, dude, the perfect.
So good.
Dude, he got on crazy. He got on toe side and then kind of bounced
And
it
then
out.
brought it
Full
back.
commit. He was like, I'm doing this. This is all mine.
Now, when I saw this, I was blown away, but I was even more blown away with the handrail that he 50-50'd into the parking lot. Then he did a slappy, remember?
Yeah.
We could pull that up, JC.
Oh,
It
that
was
thing
a-
is dumb steep. Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck? Is it? At least with that one, you have a little, I know you thought it was fake, but you have a little bit. The one that he just goes down into the parking lot.
I think for me, the difference in that is
it's right there.
if you can grind a 5-stair rail that's just goes straight down, you can grind a 50, however long,
Okay.
whatever it
I
is,
can see-
you know what I mean?
yeah.
To me, obviously, I'm not saying that did not blow my fucking mind.
Right.
But the other thing, just that he went through a kink. You'd never really seen, you know what I
No,
mean?
that was
He
the
kept
first
his
time, for
balance. So, you know what I mean? Your balance doesn't change there.
Right.
Once you're set in, you're just like,
It's
I got to
very
deal
quick.
with what's coming. Yeah.
I get what
Or
you're
if I
saying.
fall, I'm going to cartwheel downstairs. But going through that kink, that was the thing that it was like, your brain says it's not possible, but it just showed me that it's
happened,
possible.
yeah.
So then you go, okay, if he can do it, then the potential is maybe I can do it,
Right.
And not to even put myself on that level, but in your mind, you have to be like, okay, before you'd ever even try it. Cause why would you, I'm not going to even attempt that thing.
But when you went out to skate these big, I don't even remember back in the day, who you were skating with, that you would have a session on a rail. You would go out solo, right? To these big rails
totally.
and go just
on a mission, dude.
Yeah.
On a mission. So getting back to what you had initially said. So what happened is I went back to Arkansas getting settled here was a lot. And
how so?
no one wanted us.
What does that mean?
Well, we're like,
No one let you stay with him or anything? Or
no. The exact opposite of that. The love was amazing. That's another thing about it is there's a fucking cradle. You know what I mean? For real. If you're, and I don't know if it's still the same, but at that point in time, you know what I mean? If you had the dedication to, first of all, get good at skateboarding. And one of the things, my favorite thing about it, and I'm sure all athletes share that to some degree, is that level of recognition. You know what I mean? If you show up and we're skating and I can see that you have been doing this as long as I've been doing this, it's already, there's this,
The camaraderie is real.
100%. And so everyone's really helpful, I found. In my path, dude, Dan Druff, 100%. Without that dude, maybe not at all.
Dan Druff was the skate shop manager at Hot Rod.
Yeah.
Dan Druff.
Okay.
A great dude. Yeah. And then Matt Solomon. as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've, we moved out here in our cars. I was homeless before coming here. And so I moved out, just packed whatever we had into our cars. And that summer in 95, we just kind of camped out. Dan and Matt let us crash with them occasionally. We would sleep in the cars. We drove up to Frisco because we didn't even really know where we were settling. We'd only really seen videos, you know? And so I liked what was coming out of San Francisco better. I had no feel for climate or anything like that or mood, but like Embarcadero, that whole thing, like I loved that.
So wait, you got a piece of that to get, at that time, when you 95?
No, we went up there for like a couple weeks.
Okay.
It's funny, the first time I skated Hubba, Frank Gerwer was there before he was sponsored. Like I think he had just moved out, and I was trying nose slides, and I think that motherfucker nose grinded it. Damn. And this is like, I was like, he's gonna do it, and it was so cool to like see him, you know what I mean? Like watch that happen from, like all of a sudden, a couple months in, you see a Frank Gerwer in the magazine. You're like, fuck, that's the dude that I fucking was skating with.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. San Francisco didn't really work out.
Okay.
And we just had better connections here. Hot Rod, ultimately, I'd say Dan and Matt.
Who did you come with, by the way? Anybody that I would have known?
Yeah, Mike Little.
And you came with Mike Little?
Yeah,
okay.
And this other guy, Matt.
Matt,
from Arkansas, but he didn't wind up staying. We totally did not get along.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
No, it didn't. We had spent that whole summer, kind of hanging out here, and it's like August or September, and we're hanging out the promenade with Mike and Matt, and they start talking like, okay, we should think about heading back. We're running low on money. We haven't found a place to live. Like we'll go home, we'll get jobs, and then we'll make another run at it next summer. And they're talking and discussing when they're going to leave and everything. And my friend Mike's like, why aren't you talking? You're not putting it. I'm like, I got nothing to say about this conversation at all. Like, I'm not leaving. Like, I'll die before going the other way. Like, I'm here already. I've been living in my car. I'll continue live. Like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, I fucking don't know, but I'm not leaving. I was like. And so then we kind of start brainstorming. I was like, we had met this French family that had a place in Hollywood that was kind of terrible. But I was like, dude, why don't we go talk to them? We'll go see if they'll rent that place to us. And we went. I wrote our lease on a piece of like yellow legal paper. They didn't speak English really well.
What did they do?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You took over their place?
No, they owned an apartment. Like it was like instead of renting through like a company or something like that, we had through an ad or whatever it was. Because back in I don't know what it's like now, but back in the day, they would go to these agencies, to find an apartment, and we just happened to find them. I don't know, through a newspaper or some shit. Okay. And so we wind up moving in there. And oh my God, dude.
How much was it? Like $500?
Yeah, it was $600 for a 2-bedroom. Wow. I shared a room with Mike, and Matt had the other room. Dude, it was by the end we like wrote rats had started to come in through our floor, and I had literally bought. It's almost embarrassing. This is some, but yeah, like this was a circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, and. Even a rat trap. I went to like 99-cent store, bought a rat trap, and I came home, no cheese, coarse gray hairs in the, like that motherfucker ate the cheese, took the snap, and shook that off. Like, I was like, that's a big ass rat, dude. Like that's dog.
Like that little thing did not affect it
at all. It just gave it like a little trim on the back of the neck.
The rat just like,
yeah.
Wait, were you
fly landed on me?
Were you like getting boards or anything at that point? Like
no.
just straight, let's trying to.
Man, this is gonna meander a lot.
Yeah, but how were you making money?
So I want to talk about that the board thing.
Yeah.
So page turns, back to page turns. We didn't have a skate shop. I know, man. That's we didn't have a skate shop locally, but there was Paige Hearns press skateboards, and he sold like the blems and things like that for like anywhere from $5 to $20. So honestly, the whole fucking city was sponsored. You know what I mean? Like, to some degree, he made it possible
Right.
for us to skate, because I promise you, the dream would have died real fucking fast if I was having to buy skateboards $50 a pop anytime I needed one. You know, like,
Right.
I'm not gonna be able to carry on with
Sure.
that. And so, really big part. So before we left Arkansas, we each bought boxes of boards from him for like 20 boards for $200.
Wow,
And so we had, you know what I mean?
were
We
stacked.
sponsored
Yeah.
ourselves, you know? So again, that was like, there are all these little hourglasses of like ticking away before it's like, you better make it, you know, you better fucking find another way, because
Right.
this shit is running out.
Yeah.
So we had that with us, and I had to go back to court. So we had settled into that apartment, and then in October, I had to drive back to Arkansas to go to court.
What's a drive like? How many hours?
24 hours.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had no money. Oh, I got a job too. I'd started working at an insurance company, Topa. And that was like the first time, like, I think that's the only job I've ever really held.
Okay.
Like, real job.
Insurance agent.
I wasn't even an insurance agent. I got hired as a file clerk, and they liked me. I got fired. I went to a temp agency, and they sent me to all these companies, and I hated them. But they sent me on this Topa thing, and they really liked me. I really liked the place. And they just kept me there. And they took me permanent, and they moved me around from office to office, like doing whatever needed to be done, just so that I still worked at that company.
Okay.
And I stayed there until skateboarding started to work out.
Okay.
But at that point, I really wasn't super established there, so I didn't have any money, and I had these bank bonds from my grandparents. It was like they had given me like 3 different Christmases, and I had to cash those things in along the way to pay for gas.
Wow.
Because I was so fucking broke going. You know what I mean? I had nothing, but I had to go back, and I had young. We were fucked up little hooligans ultimately, you know, and I was carrying on with that trend, you know, all the way up until the point, like, we would steal from soda machines.
Okay.
And literally go into court. I was stealing from the soda machine in the court, you know,
Oh, with the little dollar with the string.
yeah, totally. That's it. Yeah. We were in there. And so,
I had to watch my back and make sure the judge is.
yeah. So all the way up to that point, I was, you know what I mean? You can fuck off. And I think coming up from a low income, like socioeconomically from the bottom, you really do feel like the weight of that, you know, like almost that you have to fucking fight against it to get out. And I don't have that animosity anymore, but at the time I 100% was full force. And so I went into court, and the people that I stole from were hell bent on, they wanted to see me suffer, you know, and the judge gave me $50 fine and court cost. And it was such a vindication in my mind that that was the end of it. Like, literally just stopped. It was like, okay, I'm going to give myself another opportunity to do better. Like, legit, I'm going to do better. And went looking for my dad because he owed me money. Weird to say some of this shit with the camera on me. But he was a foreman, and he never came. So I went to the job because I'm trying to get back to California,
LA, right?
you know,
Yeah,
and I have no money.
Right.
And so I was trying to be like, dude, can you just give me a little bit of money and he never showed up. He came to my graduation, and then he didn't shine me or anything. He had no idea what was coming. I guess he just didn't go back to work that day. And I'm not sure how the fuck I made it back, but I make it back. And I think literally it was like the next month, because that was October. And then it might have even been a few days. My mom calls me, and she's, you know, and I'm just getting settled into, probably even just getting back from Arkansas. And she's like, you should sit down. And I'm like, don't fucking tell me to sit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
That, it seems silly. It seemed dramatic, you know? I was like, just tell me what you need to tell me, and we'll figure it out. And she's like, your dad got shot last night, and he's dead.
Oh my.
And it knocked the legs out from under
Wow.
me. Like like words up to that point in my life had never had so much force. Like legit, like, and what's even wilder about that is that just a couple months before, I was talking to my girlfriend, we were having a discussion. It wasn't about my dad dying, but there was the comparison of like my mom and my dad and their importance in my life. You know, and I was like, because my dad didn't really have a lot to do with me.
Okay.
And then he did, but you know what I mean? My mom raised me, you know? And I was like, I don't think I could bear it, lose my mom.
Right.
I don't know that I would notice if I lost my dad. And
Having
I said that,
thought.
and I said that really thinking that, like, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't think, you know, just to give you like how your mind really works. And when that happened, I did care, you know, like, so it was crazy. Also, because I think in an instant you recognize like all of my unfinished business is done.
You can't.
There's no, it comes to rest here. That's it.
Damn.
And yeah,
It's
man,
heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy heavy.
Yeah.
And so prior to that, I had gone, cause I'm trying to, you know, I do like doing handrails and, I'm trying to push myself, you know, and I'd gone to Hollywood High, the 12 stair, and I was trying to nose slide it. And I couldn't even ollie onto it. I was so scared that I couldn't even, you know what I mean? Make that, I couldn't pop.
Lock in it. Yeah.
Nothing. I would roll, it was roll ups and maybe launch my board at it, but never down the stairs, you know? And so it was like a defeat. Like, fuck, man, I don't have the courage for this. I don't have the ability to do this on my own. Like to make because I know this is the next level. This is the step and I can't make it. And I guess just recognizing the finite nature of life through the loss of my father. And then to some degree, he was a lot of my life, like my charisma, my personality comes from him. He was a cool motherfucker, you know, like probably not the best dad, but he was a cool motherfucker. And I got that from him. Not to toot my, I'm all right. I get on him. I was like, I don't want that to play that, but
I get you. Though.
But you know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
he was my inspiration, whether I liked it or didn't like it. You know what I mean? And so to see on some level, this now became our dream. Like as little as he had to do with my life, one time there was a contest, local contest, and I never talked to him. You know, we didn't really correspond a lot. And this motherfucker shows up. I didn't tell him, but he was there at the contest taking pictures.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I think, like I said, as a father, I don't think he knew what he was young, you know, but as like, once I got old enough to be an inspired individual, he was like, fuck yeah. He had my skateboard trophies at his house. Like he was into it, you know, on that level. And so it was like, now all of a sudden I wasn't just doing it for me. And with that, dude, for sure, 100%. Without that happening, I think I probably don't make it.
Really?
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have got on that nose slide.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna do switchback tail. You know, like we established that. So, so there's no more. Yeah, there's no
middle ground.
Yeah, they're closed.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like I think that would have been enough to just kind of crush me. You know, like without that. And so that was the breath I needed, and at least that's what I took from it. And dude, when I first came out here, I registered to vote. Because when you register to vote, that starts you on the way to residency. And so in a year, you become a resident. As a resident, you can go to Santa Monica at the time for like $13 a credit. Now, I had no desire whatsoever to go to college. Like school was not my shit. I fingerboarded through most of my high school. You know, like I was not there. And so you know what I mean? I don't relish and I did that only for my mom. Like I had no interest in finishing that shit otherwise. And but I was like, I don't believe you when you tell me I have to do this. I don't want to believe that. And so I trusted the skateboard thing, but I was like, okay, if that doesn't work, I'm going to go to school because I don't know what the fuck else to do, you know?
Sure.
And so that was the year. It was like, you got a year, you know, make something happen. Otherwise, you're going to be fucking going to school, bud. And in 6 months, man, through Hot Rod, like literally, I started getting boards. Yeah.
From
Through- for
Foundation
who?
or
Yeah. I
before
got
Foundation?
no. I was just telling. We talking about that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Before the anyway.
Before the
Before
show.
the show.
Yeah.
I got boards from New Deal. I got boards from Plan B. I got boards from Foundation. I sent out a sponsor me tape. Dan sent out a sponsor me tape. You know, and it got such a good response. You know, and everyone's sending me boards. And I remember going to the trade show, and the guy from New Deal, we went out and talked, and he bought me a Coke. And it feels silly to admit, but I was fucking hyped, dude. I was like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
like
the little things sometimes, bro.
it made me feel, it made me feel like fucking, what's his name? Rad Skates, you know, like,
Oh, Corey.
yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, like
He
the
bounces,
business.
bounces the wheels.
Yeah, totally. He's like 100% urethane.
I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, oh man,
But it made you feel worth something. Maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, because I think as much as I pushed myself to do all that stuff, I think there was a lot of doubt inside me. You know,
Right.
like I was just pushing myself faster than the doubt could catch me. You know,
Yeah.
and so those little things were like, you're worthy. You know what I mean? Yeah, totally. Like,
Yeah.
and
Who was it, by the way? That
I
bought
do
you
not
that? You
even
don't remember?
Ray
Okay.
something. Nobody I'd ever heard of.
Okay.
Up to that point. And and so they I think it was New Deal said they were like, you're on the team. You want to be on the team, you're on the
Oh,
team.
wow.
And I feel like Plan B said something very similar. It was
Wow.
both of these are at a rebuilding stage.
For
Keep
sure.
in mind,
for
like
sure.
they're
when did Secondhand Smoke come out? Plan B. Was that
92.
later?
It was like
no,
three?
no,
92.
94?
94.
Was it 94?
I mean,
Definitely
you
came
had-
out before 95.
Yeah, you had 92, 93 virtual reality
I
questionable.
think 94,
I would say 94, 90.
possibly. But maybe 92.
We're going to look it up right
No,
now.
no, no.
Secondhand Smoke 94.
That seems crazy because I feel
94.
like Plan B at that time. What I remember most was that they had told me about this guy Rick McCrank, and they're like, "It's between you and." So I don't remember if they had given me a spot or they were weighing me against McCrank.
Okay.
What I
Daniel Haney on Plan B.
Yeah,
Dude, what a
that's
turn
it.
of events.
What I do remember was his first ad. Again, like the Frank Gerwer thing.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the microphone is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You're good.
It's good. You're good.
McCrank. I remember his first ad. It was like a photo of him looking through handrail, like shades, and then he's lip sliding this handrail.
Okay. Plan B ad.
It was a Plan B
Yeah,
ad.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
But no, either way it went, Foundation was giving me boards, but they were like, look, if you film us a video part, we'll put you on.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's the road I'm going to go. Like,
Right.
cause that was right after Rolling Thunder. It was so crazy because, like I didn't know I'd even go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, is your Sponsor Me tape on YouTube? Can we watch your Sponsor Me
I don't
tape?
think
or is
so.
it- Okay.
It is funny. I don't think I have, other than like later in my life, I didn't add any of my videos to YouTube.
Oh, really?
Like all the stuff on there, somebody else put up there.
Yeah,
So
usually that's how it goes down.
Okay.
Right.
We never put our stuff up. We end up finding out from other YouTubes that
Yeah.
are already up there.
yeah, it was wild when it first, but no, so I never,
Okay.
I don't even know if I have my first Sponsor Me tape, but I know I edited that shit on 2 VCRs.
Oh, yeah.
To-
Yeah, like-
yeah. Well, okay. So what about the Foundation? Did you end up filming a part for them?
Yeah. I filmed a part for them. And like I said, Rolling Thunder. Sidebar, man, it is really weird thinking about how many people are going to see this? Like almost uncomfortably so. Like,
At least it's not live though.
yeah, that's
No,
true. That I don't think it would matter, honestly, at this, like,
Yeah.
I feel like hopefully I'll own anything I say.
Oh, bro, you're doing a great
chill-
job,
chilling,
dude.
dude.
Yeah,
You're good,
man. I
you're
love
good.
it. I love it. Well, because it's your story.
I feel like, I know, but I feel like it rambled a lot.
No.
Okay.
I
Like it circled back a couple of times.
trust me. I'm enthralled. You're good. Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
building me up, guys.
Of course, dude.
Yeah,
Of
that's what
course.
the panel was for. Because every time I look over, he's just like got this.
I'm interested to
Yeah.
hear what you're about to say.
Yeah. Don't worry about the people out there, man. Only
I'm
millions
trying not
and
to. Like,
millions.
occasionally,
Yeah.
like I'll like when I remember. I'm like,
yeah.
oh the fuck, dude.
But this is great. This is an opportunity for you to tell everything because, like I said before, I knew you. We were in the same circle. We skated together, but I don't know much about you.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know your story was never really told. I don't think. Maybe in written interviews and everything, but
Probably bits and pieces of
little
it.
bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you got on, so you went for the foundation thing to get on the team.
Oh,
You-
totally.
so you sent them a part or all the footage?
Yeah. Rolling Thunder come out, best team, my dream to ride for them. So, you know what I mean? Like, not only was I coming out here and I'm going to actually get sponsored, but I'm going to get sponsored by the number one pick, like who I would ultimately want to ride for, you know? Blows my mind. I'm like, fuck, of course. And so I would go down and skate with Josh Beagle a lot and Heath a couple of times, but I don't think Heath liked me.
Okay.
Well, you're both skating gnarly handrails or what?
No. I think that, in all honesty, in the early version is my flaws were big. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, when you're younger, so you know what I mean. You're getting used to meeting people. Sometimes you're.
I don't even mean
wild.
that. I mean in my skate game.
Oh,
I wasn't as good as everyone. You know what I mean? Like, I was daring, and so if I had to be in a situation where I wasn't around my strengths, it was very obvious
okay.
how different I was from the people around me. You know that? You know what I mean?
yeah. Like if you were like,
I'm doing a backside tailslide. Everyone else is doing, flip in or, something ridiculous. And so,
someone skating a manual pad, and you're like, oh fuck.
dude, core memory is skating through, UCSD
Yeah.
with Beagle and Kirchart. And we're just skating, just cruising. You know what I mean? Just
There's a lot of spots there.
yeah, and not even stopping at all. And so to me, there was like this a good pressure of like, I have to keep up with these guys. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like an audition. Like, we're out here skating. And I did one with Jeremy Ray and I think Jonas they wanted to go skate. And again, meandering. I felt like they were even looking for my flaws. Like, because they were like specific. We're going to go to this bump. Let's go see what you can do on this bump.
Okay.
Total fail. Like, total fail.
But what happened to
Bump's
UCSD
not
though?
your-
This not my, at that time, like, I could probably kickflip something,
Okay.
but maybe back someone 80, you know what I mean? And that's anything, any height. Like, you get something low, maybe a backside flip.
Right.
Yeah.
What about UCSD though? Did you have anything at there? Or are you just trying to keep up with them that whole time?
Okay, core memory. I remember there's like stairs, and we're just in flow, and I hop into a manual on these stairs, and it's so weird trying to talk. And I did a kickflip out of the manual, and I don't do that at all. And it was ugly as fuck, like mob as shit, and I probably like landed back in manual, but inside me, I was like, I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I just did a manual
they
kick
saw
flip.
that. I hope they saw
You've
that.
like never even done it before either. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, no, never. I'd probably done it maybe a time or
Yeah.
two, but first try in the middle of everything, like, so that made me like the need to do well in that situation gave me more. I was like, I'm gonna land this thing, no matter what. Lands primo, you know what I mean? It's got to come back around because I'm going to keep moving. Like,
Right.
and so I did it. I was like, fucking
Stoked.
I was stoked.
It's
and
funny.
they were probably like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, it's funny because like back then too, I did feel like not so much auditions, but I did feel like I got to go skate with like Rick and Mike. And of course, your only thing to think is like, oh, they're watching me. Like they're gonna skate, and I'm gonna skate. I'm gonna skate like shit. I'm gonna skate good. Like no matter what it is, they're gonna take that back with them. You know,
You put this unknown pressure on yourself that's not there, and like,
Oh no, it's kind of there, dude.
To a
It's-
degree.
It's like
To
you
a
don't
degree.
you don't have to, but dude, if you want to impress, you're trying to get on the team. It's like you better fucking show them what you got.
but it's also do what you normally do,
Right.
You know what I
True,
mean? Not come
true.
out of yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, don't go out of you like who you are.
Yes,
but
like
still
I'm
show.
I'm gonna jump in front. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
be,
yeah,
stay
yeah.
in
Don't
your
snake
you
in the
know,
woods, yeah.
There's small things that can kind of stand out
for
you know,
sure.
when
You're
in
trying
these
to watch your
situations.
P's and Q's, so to
Yeah.
speak, you know, and like, I want to impress these guys, but let's not overdo it,
Yes.
right? Let's not like go crazy.
I feel like you did such a good job with that. Like outside looking in.
Yeah.
Because like I said, when I moved out here, you were so good. You like nobody did that. And you weren't sponsored and you didn't seem to be trying to get like everyone else is like fighting each other for those positions. And,
Right.
and so when you finally got where you were I was like, it was inevitable,
Yeah.
you know? And with hindsight, as you get older, I love that you kind of had an instinct for that because it took me fucking forever. You know, like I would just charge the fuck in and get what I wanted, you know?
Yeah.
And to my own behest at times. Like I was getting a pilot's license and my brother was getting a pilot's license with me. And the flight instructors told him to tell me that I needed to throttle back. Like a kind of a flight
okay.
term, like, because I was like, they tell you like you can graduate with 40 hours of training, you know, and so I was like, I'm gonna do it with 40 hours of training, and they're like, probably not, you know, like, and I wound up graduating with 42 hours of training,
Yeah.
but I spin my wheels a lot.
Too gung ho, too just like.
Man, I really feel like if I had done better I was afraid. I operated out of fear of like having to return to the bottom.
Arkansas or something like that, yeah.
Right. You know, and so that I'm happy that I got motivated, but if I had more actual confidence in me and my abilities, then I would have just trusted that to get me there without that. And it feels like you had that.
Here's the thing though, dude, is like you came from a different place than I did, right? I was born and raised here. I would see these guys all the time. Like I knew right away, like I wanted to skate when Girl and Chocolate came around, like I wanted to skate with them. And I had more of an opportunity because I was here, right? And I feel like if I had come from a different place, like I probably would have had a different attitude in my skating. Like I was nonchalant. I made a sponsor me tape for Rodney Mullen to try to get on Blind, but he wanted another one. I didn't want to do another one because I was just like, you know what? I already knew at that point too, I wanted to skate for Chocolate. Like Blind was cool, but this is where I want to be over here. So I feel like, yeah, if I had come from the same situation as you, 100%, I probably would have been different. I probably would have been going for it. I probably would have been taking that sponsor me tape to Rodney Mullen with my own two hands and kneeling down and presenting it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think I just came from this.
You know, it was funny is like when back in the day, like I used to ski you guys around, but like when foreigners would come in, people from out of town, and they were coming and they were like coming in hot. Remember Bjorn Johnston?
Yes, everybody,
and
right.
people were like almost threatened by everyone because they're hungry, dude.
Right.
They're not from down the street. If they're done, like Chris could just go back and just chill like at his house.
Yeah.
These kids are like you're coming out, you're driving across America, and you're like, if I don't make this, I gotta go all the way back there. Like that's why it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
Like that's why the mentality. Chris is always so mellow. Rightfully so. He's from here. He fucking,
I don't have that like need or fear of like failing, you know, and having to be, I got to go back now, you know.
But you were like really already in the circles of like the people that you wanted to be skating with, so to say.
Right.
Which
for sure.
Was Sam Barrowell was a part of that.
Sam Barrowell, but it was mainly Tim Dowling.
Okay.
Tim Dowling, when I filmed the Listen video, like the Listen video changed my whole trajectory, dude. Because finally people got to see what I'm all about.
You weren't on Chocolate at the time when Listen came out?
No.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it was coming for you no matter what you did.
I was probably on Daniel Castillo flow at that point.
You were getting boards, though, at that time.
Maybe. I might have been in the transition of getting boards from even Jason Calloway. It went from Daniel Castillo to Jason Calloway, seconds boards. And then it went to like, okay, I'm actually getting stuff. I think Daniel Castillo was just sick of giving me shit. He's like, dude, fucking give this guy some boards, bro.
You were doing your thing, and I think you're such like a casual, easygoing guy that people were like, oh yeah, come along, dude, let's hang out. You weren't like this guy, like, hey, let me go skate with you. I could never imagine.
And imagine that attitude going into like skate with like Rick and Mike and all these dudes.
Exactly.
Like they'd be like, yo, dude,
I'm
like
be dead ass honest right now.
Bro.
That's the reason you got on.
Yeah.
Because you were mellow and you stayed in your little lane, and like they eventually are like, get this fucking guy on.
You skated though. You skated your ass off.
For sure.
For sure. You're definitely a very casual.
But sorry to sidetrack that, but I think that's kind of the difference between you coming here with a mission and me just being here without a mission. Right?
Just you telling that story reminds me of Robbie and how. So we all like kind of arrived in that same. You were already here, but like came together in that same moment, and I remember he rode. Was it?
Blind?
No. That was another
Society.
Yeah. Right. He rode for Society. My God, he was like the golden child for Society.
Yeah, man.
And I remember when he got on Blind, and so to hear you, it's so crazy how you guys' paths were similar.
Yeah.
Like the opportunity was similar, and the path was different.
Right.
Because he actually got on Blind, and I remember, and I was like, fucking, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like that's where he wanted to be, you know? Because he always talked about that. And then he gets offered to go to Girl. And it surprised me when he decided to go to Girl, because I thought he wanted to ride for Blind. And so he's like, no, I really wanted to ride for Girl, but I didn't think I would ever get, like that's like that's fantasy, you know?
Yeah.
I think most kids or anyone younger thought the same way. They never thought, I'll get on Girl. That Jerron, you were part of that crew from coming outside. I don't think anyone. That's where I grew up. At least I was like, there's no way I'm getting on Girl. It's insane.
Yeah, that's like royalty. That's like the top.
And I don't think they were really like taking people from companies either. It was like
that was another thing.
You had to like really be kind of unknown for them to kind of like, hey, then they're going to put you on this pedestal. You know, that's how I felt at least.
No, I mean, like prime example with Mike Mo. Like Mike Mo was 15 or 16 when he started getting boards, and like shortly after, like they saw the talent and they were like, dude, we got to get him on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But we were coming up at the same time, you know, him on Blind. And, you know, I would have been on Blind with him if it wasn't for me not wanting to give another tape to Rodney, you know?
Because Robbie got on first?
He was on he was on Blind first, and then...
No, I mean on Girl before you were on
We
Chocolate.
were in the same Hot Chocolate Tour video. Remember he gave the camera in the van and the Hot Chocolate Tour? He gave the camera and he looked in there and there was Robbie's part. And then I had a part.
It was just a Chocolate Tour, sorry.
Chocolate Tour. And then I shared a part with Daniel Castillo. I was in his part.
Right.
So same timeline.
Right.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because Robbie was a little more charged up.
He was.
You know, like he was like really.
Florida kid coming here. Yeah.
I actually skated with Robbie a lot.
I did too.
He was like my curb connect, you know, like the ledge connect.
Right.
Like he would get me go into all these spots.
I remember coming up and seeing you guys, and I was telling earlier like how funny it was. Of like, we have Chris Roberts, Robbie McKinley, and Daniel Haney all in the sesh. How was this mixing? But you guys were all friends, and it was all through Hot Rod, right? You guys, I
mean, pretty much.
I think Robbie was more from Courthouse.
Oh, okay.
Because that was kind of I hated the Courthouse. just true, you know. But that was like where you went. There weren't skate parks and shit like that. So
it was like the Courthouse, the ponds,
and
the beach.
What about Inland Empire? Wasn't he out there?
He was out there. Chafee, I think that's where he was in Chaffee and then he
Yeah.
moved out here.
Yeah, he lived in that area.
But that was before, right? I didn't
With
really
him
know
and Richie
Robbie.
Mulder around the same time.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Where
that's
did-
what I'm saying. That's the only reason I would ever go to Chaffee. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and I had fun. I had fun skating there. But
That was a great spot.
But the courthouse was a place where you could go and hang out.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like you could go there and just kick it all day,
Yeah.
run from the cops, have a good time. You know what I mean?
I remember that having to
fun.
like literally having to run from the cops.
Yeah,
was
dude.
court still
It's
being
tough.
held at that time? too?
Yeah, man. We go in there on the weekends.
Yeah.
And then my friend Sean Cassidy, he worked at the New Art, and I'd skate, run over to the New Art, kick it with Sean, eat some popcorn. It was a little movie theater. Sean Cassidy.
yes.
Yeah. Daniel Castillo.
Amazing.
Great dude. But then, okay, it should be good now. Go back, go back to the courthouse and skate for another couple hours.
How was skateboarding back then? Like you said, you didn't like the courthouse. How did you go film? Because it seemed like you were very particular what you skated because you like the bigger things.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, where did you practice, or did you just go for it? Like at all these spots.
So practice, my days would typically, like weekends were Beverly High. Like I skated Beverly High all weekend, every weekend, because it was close. You couldn't skate it during the week.
Yeah.
And so I go to the courthouse. We link up there, filmer, photographer, and then go skate Beverly High, and either just warm up there. What is that? Oh,
Duck
this is some
Cinema.
Duck Cinema.
Yeah.
Oh
Duck
my God.
Cinema, dude. Holy shit.
This is like 97.
So when you're doing all this stuff, I know it sounds weird for like maybe not to you guys, but for people that skate now, like you're just doing all this for the first time, pretty much. Like you're learning all this stuff, or are you just like doing this over and over? Like
No, this Beverly High, that shit
Yes.
was probably actually I grinded that a couple of times for different videos. So that one's probably like actually I was probably surprised that he even wanted to film that shit at this point because I feel like that was in like 2 other videos.
Right.
But I think he was just like whatever.
It's
Yeah,
an
but you
gnarly-
did it mad comfortable.
Yeah, the World Saving
Yeah.
Trail is a gnarly
Like I
rail.
said, I think I'd done that a couple of times.
Okay.
But the Beverly High stuff, man, I would go there just for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's where I wanted to skate. And then I get comfortable and maybe try something different.
that downtown rail, the curve rail.
That was the beginning, man.
180 out,
Yeah.
bro. That's insane.
That's fun. It's so funny.
Would
Oh
you
my
skate
God.
all these spots by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I
at that
preferred
point
it.
there wasn't a lot of people skating those rails at that point.
I look back at some shit and I had a lot of anger,
Yeah.
a lot of temper, and people probably wouldn't have wanted to. I'm surprised that people wanted to skate with me. Legit, like.
You're talking about like you can't do something you are
Oh
getting.
man, yeah. Like I'm going to war
Oh, yeah.
either with that rail or with myself or both or whatever. Like if I, again, just like, I don't know, like not letting myself quit because there's a lot of like quit in you. Like a lot of like a voice that's just like, just fucking give it, like stop.
Yeah.
You could kind of find out who you are, right?
Yeah.
Your skateboard, for sure.
Well, you took a lot
yeah.
of like gnarly slams though.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
the slams
you
were
have
like
some of
part
the most.
the-
You have the most crazy slams.
Well, first of
ever,
all,
dude.
oh yeah, this is
I knew we were talking about this shit.
of course you have
It was
to.
coming.
Dude, hey,
You
me
have
and my
to.
friends growing up, we knew you as taking the gnarliest slams ever. Dude.
Yeah.
So this is Josh Beagle's filming that shit.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And I really thought I could grind that whole motherfucker. And I probably, like, you know what I mean? If I
in your
had gone
mind.
back there, like,
Right.
give myself a couple years, but this is in like the very, very beginning where I'm just like, do or die.
Right.
You know, I gotta get those. I actually think I broke my foot on that fall.
Did you?
Wait, was
Yeah.
that it? What's it called?
That was at
The school
Paul
of
Revere.
Paul Revere.
Revere, yeah.
I just watched Lee Romero grind that front side and back side.
Dude, it's gnarly.
It's like the other day.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like they warm up on my big conquest is like, let's go get that a couple of times and then we'll do the thing.
On Instagram.
Yeah. In the stories.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, man, to see you just go crazy on these rails, dude. Like, I don't know, it was just something else.
You said you were
man.
getting angry a bunch, but it seemed like when I would see you around, you're always nice because you were skating around with everyone. But you would probably your demeanor would change when you had to film something gnarly.
I'm not saying I walked around just in a
Yeah,
you know, like
that's what
in
I'm
a
saying.
tub.
But I'm saying you got mad at like when you're trying gnarly shit.
Yeah, man, like I wouldn't let myself quit, you know, and so there's that And then just, I don't know, wrestling with a whole bunch of shit, really, and using my skateboard to do it. And building a future for myself by doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it worked out okay. It's,
I mean, you created your own lane for the most part.
Right. Nah, I wouldn't take. I mean, yeah, if you mean a dude that just has like 5 tricks and makes it, I totally rode
But there was
that
only
lane.
a handful of dudes. There was a handful of
At that
dudes
time,
that were
too.
gnarly
Yeah.
and gnarly slams.
Here-
you
that-
were like the dude.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with being amongst the, you know what I mean, the guys on the front.
Yep.
Totally agree. But even that Paul Revere is a cop. Like, remember that Muska ad? He got the ad for a toy machine for Welcome to Hell,
Oh,
but
yeah.
his part got pulled.
Right.
But that was like a mind breaker, because the Pat Duffy thing was one thing, but then seeing Muska go through this fucking 3
Yeah.
stair kink where it goes ding ding, and you're like, you see the photo, and I'm looking at the photo like, nope, like he didn't do that shit, because again, I'm like, I don't think you could make it through that thing.
Right.
And so then when he does it, I'm like, oh, exactly. Look at that little fucking thing, man.
Dude.
We were watching your the footage the other day, and we're like, because now people do the cross lock. If you're aware of that, how like people just lock in.
I'm aware.
Yeah,
I am loosely connected to it.
But you like watching your footage. You never really ever did that. Pretty much,
wasn't
right?
a thing
It wasn't a
back then.
thing.
Yeah,
it
I
was
don't
like,
think it was
look,
a
I mean,
thing.
look how Muska's on that
Now,
rail right there. He's on his heels.
There was one time that I did cross lock. Yeah, I remember thinking like I had a system for like, you could feel it. You know what I mean? When I was locked in, I could feel it. But the fucked up part is when you're not locked in and you can feel it. And you're like, you know it's coming. You know it's coming. You know what I mean? Like,
The board's gonna shoot out. You're going backwards,
dude,
I'm heading to this kink
100%,
right
like,
now, and
'cause
this is
you're
not good.
still grinding a little bit. You know what I mean? You're like there, but you're not there, and you're just preparing. You're like, grab the handrail, like what,
Whatever it takes.
And dude, so much. Pull the parachute. Like, how am I getting out of this? But you know it's bad.
Here's the thing,
They're
though.
two distinct.
Going back to the Daniel Haney, like, having one. The thing about Daniel Haney is like whenever Haney footage would come out, you didn't know what you were going to get. Right, you're going to get a little bit of a slam. You're going to get a little bit of a gnarliness. You just
There was nothing mellow ever.
Yeah, it was like,
never
okay,
like
what
oh,
is
cool,
this
it's gonna be a
dude-
chill line down the street. It's like, no, it's gonna be something heavy that
What
you went hard for.
what did this dude do today?
Again, I look back and
up Land
think if I
Pirates.
had done a better, you know what I mean? If I had a pinch of Chris Roberts, you know what I mean? Like, where I'm so comfortable now, man. I love to go to the park and
Oh, that is one of the craziest slams I've
Yeah,
ever
what do you
seen.
think about that one?
Wait,
Yeah,
that's
but-
not even. We need to get the sound of that. That was in the listen video, though, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it was in the listen video.
Well, you have like the 5 slams back to back.
no. Was that in the,
It was.
That was a
yeah.
4-1, but like
I was
there's,
about to say it was in the 401.
Man, they use your footage all over the place, huh?
yeah.
there was the audio, like it has the full audio on it where you're just like,
Yeah, look up the listen video.
listen, skate video of Tim Dowling.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's at the end. I grew up on this video, so I remember it very. The audio of that is nuts.
Turn it up.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
This one is a great though. Mind you, that noise of the handrail for people
'Cause you
listening,
didn't
that's
know-
his
you didn't
head
know-
against the handrail.
You didn't know? I didn't know it was coming. I'm thinking I made out. I was like, that could have been worse. Like midway through, because I'm like, okay, I've got a little shins. I've rolled out of that motherfucker though. Like,
Right,
and
right.
then there's still more.
But like first off, you hit your back on it and then slam. You're like, oh my god! And then you just kept going and you would just slam like that over and over again, huh?
Oh, dude! Even just watching, I haven't seen this in so long.
Which
'cause
one of
it's on-
these like stands out the most to you that you're like, wow, that was
that
was
was
fun.
insane.
the one on the curve rail?
Oh,
curve
the
rail.
one before.
Oh, the board that
one right
that
there.
one. Let me see. Get some.
Oh,
Because
there's one.
that
Keep
was
going.
legit. This
This
was
one.
legit. Probably one of the hardest things
Your ankles
I
right
ever
there.
did.
Sorry, let me check this. I don't know. For some reason, we lost audio. That's okay.
Can you go back a little more? There was one where you came up off the side, that thing right there.
Oh God, you folded your whole leg.
Oh my. What the fuck?
Aye.
Where did you get this? Did you guys make this compilation?
This is the listen video.
This is in the credits
This is
of the listen.
end of the
Yeah.
this is
the
the-
credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not seen these slams.
Good last part in slam section, dude.
Always. Funny. So one of the things I got most in when people were noticing me would be like, holy shit, dude, the slam at the end of in the Zero video.
Oh, what was that one?
Nose slide, the 20 stair at Fairfax.
Wait, say that again.
The Zero
The nose
video.
slide.
Which one was it? Misled Youth or what was
Misled Youth.
It was Misled
It was,
Youth.
I think it was the last trick in Misled Youth.
I don't remember.
Oh, the video's back. Okay.
That makes me feel good.
We're gonna check it out. We're gonna check it. He's
People
bringing it
remember
up.
the
He's bringing
slam,
it up. He's
and I
bringing
would
it up.
always be like, dude, I made it. Like,
But they want to show that slam.
Dude.
Sometimes the
No, no.
slams are
Like, did you know
That-
you're gonna
that-
be in that? Did you know?
man,
What happened?
Jamie would always hit me up about clips, like for the friend section.
Okay.
Like, and so he hit me up about clips, and I was like, yeah, I got some clips. So I sent him clips, and you know, back then it's like not like this. Don't have a phone. It's time codes and fucking tapes.
Sure.
And so, you know what I mean? Like it's cued to this. And I had it cued. This is the trick right here.
Jamie's looking through that thing.
You know what? Honestly, at the time, I don't think I thought about it, but he found it, and he calls me and he's like, he was like, hey man, what's up with that 20 stair rail? And I was like, oh no, because I didn't even plan to do that. I didn't like. We literally, again, I felt dragged to Fairfax because it was ledges.
Oh wow.
Well, tall edges too.
Yeah, it just was not my shit at all. Even just for fun. And so I'm skating around campus, like trying to find something I wanted to skate. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? There's a 20 stair here that no one has ever skated like all this time. And so I just started fucking around with it initially. And then I was like, I think I could do this. Like, and so you start to adrenaline is what happens.
Yeah.
And so then I go and grab Cameron.
Cameron post yeah.
And I was like, dude, will you film this? So literally Cameron filmed that shit.
Okay.
And I took some harsh slams, like, cause it would nose blunt. Like, cause it was
I'm trying to remember the rail. Was it the one in front of the school?
it was like,
can't
whatever
remember
that
20
courtyard,
stair.
whatever was skated was like right here. You like come around
Was there
and it's
no
in here.
runner?
I still don't think that anyone, no, I don't know. I was like this.
Oh, wait, go back.
There we go. Misled use. Sorry, I think
That
we
whiskey was good,
rewound
dude.
it too much.
Like it?
It's oh yeah, super good. It's almost too good. Like I'm catching. I'm like, slow down, dude.
Dude, we just
You just like went way back or something because this is all mixed.
We're all the way at the end. I did have they showed two slams.
here,
Oh, there it is, right there.
it is.
Wow.
Oh, God. Wait,
Yeah. Oh, what happened right there, dude?
Twisted my ankle on the
Oh
stair.
God, it looked like you hit your side too.
Maybe, but it's definitely the ankle is what.
Ay.
Yeah, I'm leaning. Yeah, Lord.
Did you wax rails at that time?
No,
It was just
I hate.
raw.
Man, it's funny that you say that because I literally broke my ankle on that rail.
You did.
Yeah, I didn't know I broke it.
Oh, you did.
But yeah, not that day. I went there with Dimitri to shoot the. Like I said, it was super impromptu, you know, and I went there with Dimitri to shoot the photo, and I'd never shot with him before, and it was just me and him. There was no filmer, and I don't know. It was like it was weird, and I don't think I changed my wheels, and my board kept sticking. Like when I would do it. And part of it was probably just that I'd already done it and I didn't want to fucking commit to this thing, you know, and just a perfect storm of shit, and bailed, landed on the stairs and twisted the fuck out of my ankle. And I was like, fuck. And so I tried to do it again before
It set in.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah, because
okay.
you know what I mean? Once it like starts swelling up and tighten, you're like, I'm not doing shit with this thing. And literally by the time I had gotten back to like the run up, I was like, I can't even fucking feel my ankle. You know, I was like, I'm not doing this for a photo. Like I've already done it. Like I'm not gonna fucking do this. And so I just thought it was sprained and let it heal. And I went in years later for another sprain.
Dude.
And the doctor's like, no, you didn't break it this time. And I'm like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, you can see right here where it was broken. You can even see a little piece of bone that's floating around. He's like,
Dude, I had the same thing, dude. I did the same fucking thing.
It's
And I sprained it. I was like, I thought I just sprained it, whatever. And then went back years later because I heard it again. And they were like, yeah, you broke this shit like years ago. And I was like, fuck.
That sucks.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But like you're still able to like skate and fucking.
100%. I remember noticing after I would like, I've been doing yoga the whole time.
I could tell you're sitting freaking with your legs crossed on the chair right now. I'm like, how are you doing that?
Bro.
It's more comfortable, but it's weird because I can't sit like this, and so I gotta sit and then lean into the mic. So I'm like on a half thing right now. But no, so I would do stretch a lot to try and keep myself conditioned. I started doing that shit at 21 because I thought I was getting old. I was at the beach doing backflips one night, and
Yes.
I can relate.
Great way to start the story too.
Yeah.
and my back was hurting, and I'm like, why the fuck is my, and I literally was like, I'm getting old, like my, like, because you're young. What it's like to be young, guys. Enjoy that shit for real. But like I thought I was old. I was like, I'm getting old. So I went to the library the next day to try and find a book on stretching. I realized I was like, I have no idea how to fucking stretch. Like, and that's going to be needed. I took skateboarding very seriously at the time. Like I didn't do drugs. wouldn't even take aspirin,
Wow.
absolutely nothing. And, so I went to the library to find a book on stretching, and they'd send me the yoga section. And I'm like, I do not want a fucking yoga book, dude. I'm from Arkansas. You know what I mean? Like it was a lot of growth coming to California.
For sure.
And so there's a little bit of like that little redneck mentality, like, oh, corny hippie shit, and so I was like, but nothing in there other than that. And so I found a book that had like good diagrams. And I was like, I don't want your propaganda. I'm going to look at the diagrams. I'm going to do that and I'll be done. And 2 weeks into that shit, dude, I'm meditating and I'm trying all the shit in that
juice.
book.
Yeah.
Because it worked. Like
worked?
it made it.
Yeah.
It would. I remember the first thing was it would cue breath. It would be like, okay, fold forward. And because this is how little I'm reading of it, it's like fold forward and exhale and then rise up and inhale. I'm like, don't tell me when the fuck to breathe, but then you do it and you're like, oh, I mean, that's kind of natural. That makes sense, and then from that, it's like, okay, well, what else do you have? And then every single time it'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. But the meditation and stuff didn't stick. I just had too much. Like there was too much in there at the time. Like there's no way I could have really hurdled that shit. But the physical part of it totally stuck around because I was like, I need this for sure.
When you were doing this, were you was this arcade days now, or was this still when you started the yoga?
No. This was arcade.
This was arcade. Okay.
Oh yeah,
What?
I
need to get it. No,
a
I
whole
see
other
how he
plot
comes
thread.
back.
Yeah, a whole other
because
plot thread.
here's the thing: is like you were on Foundation, but what happened? There was like a riff or something, right? I remember there being some type of like.
What's crazy about that is I literally started because knowing I was coming here. I thought about it again.
Yeah.
And I think first of all, Staba did not like me.
Brad Staba.
He did not like me. And I wouldn't say for good reason, but for the reasons we had talked about earlier. You know what I mean? He saw the holes, and and maybe treated me a bit dismissive because of it. Like I could feel it, to some degree.
He's also a sarcastic, dry,
He really is.
sense of humor type dude.
Totally.
Anyway, carry on. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So I think starting there, everyone got kicked off. When I got on Foundation, my dream team, like right after I get on, I think Heath and Barra left, and they went to Birdhouse, and I was like, oh fuck, because Heath was like my favorite, you know, and I was like, that's a bummer. And it was wild to me because Josh and Heath were such good friends, and Josh stayed, and then I think Olsen left to go to Shorty's like a week after that. It was like this crazy. It was like watching it fucking dissolve, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, because again, I don't want to be dramatic, but at the time it was like, oh my God, my wildest dreams are official. And then it's like, are they? And then what was left, I didn't get along. You know, it was me, Josh, and the other amateurs, John West and Staba. And like I said, I'm not saying that maybe it wasn't that he didn't like me, although I can't blame anyone for not, because I was a hard-headed, full throttle bull. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how to not go, and it's got to be hard to take that. You know,
Right.
At the time, I didn't understand that. You know, I was just like, fuck anybody who, you know, fuck all the haters. You know,
I'm surprised Jamie didn't get a hold of you, man, because that seems right up Jamie Thomas's alley and his work ethic and his whole thing.
We connected.
Okay.
And like I said, he would hit. Did we ever finish that thing?
section?
Yeah.
The Jamie Thomas, how he got the clip.
Well, he said
He's-
that he called you and said, "What's up with the 20-stair rail or whatever?"
Oh yeah, and I told him he couldn't use it. I was
then
like,
he
"You
used
can't."
it,
And
yeah.
he's like, "Man," and he was like, and then eventually he was like, "It's already in the video. It's the last one." He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, "But it's the last trick," and I'm like, oh, "Okay."
But it's a zero video, dude.
For anybody that doesn't know Jamie too, the dude is like Kobe, like an asshole. Not, you know, not in being an asshole, but he is not afraid to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? Like he's not afraid to just. This is how it, you know, how it is. Totally. And he's like, "What are you saving it for? An arcade video?" He's like,
But said it like sarcastically.
no. Yeah, but he
was serious.
realistic. He was being realistic.
Yeah, it was
and
funny, though.
truth be told, he was like, dude, how many people are going to see that? How many people are going to see it in this video?
That's what
And
I
you're the
said,
last
yeah.
trick. And I was like, and again, idle. You know what I mean? So to be having the conversation at all
Right.
is. I'm still a little.
That's
I'm,
heavy.
I'm trying to hold my own, but I'm a fangirl at this point. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm in the video.
But he's also a visionary, dude. He's also, he knows what the video is. He knows what his team's about. He knows what's going to sell. He knows what people are going to like. Like he
knows
already
what he
has
wants.
the vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so how can you even say no to that? You're like, this dude knows. He's
I
done-
tried. But yeah,
But you sent him the clip.
not
on the
intentionally.
tape.
Not
Yeah.
intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sent him the
He rewound the tape and found it.
yeah,
It's here. It's here.
You know he's looking at that whole thing. He's looking at
Yeah,
one
what
scene like
can I
that.
use?
that is exactly what he did. He looked at he scrubbed that whole shit, and then he still, to his credit, he still did use my clip that I sent him. It's in the middle of the, you know, it gets
Oh, we don't
lost
need
in the
to see-
shuffle.
no, I'm just-
It's nothing special. Although it did kick off a spot that became a spot. Like that's something that I did do in early on was I would find spots.
Wait, what spot was it in the video?
Yeah.
It was so at the time that spot has changed now, but at the time it was like a narrow ledge, and then there was like a marble flagpole, like the bottom of a flagpole. It's downtown. People skate the fuck out of it now. All the ledges are gone, but the gap to the thing is still there, I think. But anyway,
Smooth ground.
yeah.
Oh, so that's like the main.
Which
like,
one? The courthouse?
No, it's on the corner of like, I want to say Hope. It's like more uptown. Anyway,
This is in misled youth in the friend section.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find it.
It's two narrow ledges at different heights and a big flagpole base. And I did a crooked grind and maybe a back lip.
Okay.
I think maybe I can't remember, but no one had skated at that point.
Huh.
Like I literally waxed it, and and not hard tricks. You know what I mean? But that's the awesome part about discovering a spot is you can run a clip of a cool ass spot.
Oh yeah, the gaps are right.
That is at the courthouse. Yeah.
Before that was when it had like the skinny landing.
It did, dude. Because then they got rid of that skinny landing, and you landed on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? I can do a crooked grind, and I'll try crooked grind and deal with the consequences of trying to land back on something narrow. Makes it unique. I just got away with running a crooked grind as a clip.
Bro, that's a good.
That thing was skinny, dude. It was right next. That was gnarly.
Super skinny.
You opened the door on that one for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff. There's another spot on Sepulveda that's like a bar. It's like a bar on top of a gap.
Oh, the huge one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was the first one to skate that.
What did you do on it? Board slide, front board?
Lip slide.
You lip slid that.
Yeah.
Jacked.
No, what's crazy about that is
what video was that in? We got to check it out. Do you remember? That is no joke. That drop is psycho.
I think it was in Who. I think it was in Who.
Who?
What?
What is there? An owl in here?
Yeah. That's the whole point. Who are these dudes?
That spot is like there's no joke.
It's not there anymore, though. I think they
did. They?
I think they fenced it
So
off
what's
or
crazy
something.
about that is I had a couple clips at that spot. Like I was the first person to ollie that gap. So that ran, I think, in the Foundation video.
Okay.
And then I back 180'd over where the bar wasn't always there. Oh. There was no bar. There was just like this wall. The wall was always there. And so I back 180'd over that wall. And then one night I was driving home from this girl's house and that bar was there. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Like, I think I called Sue that night and was like, dude, we got Blayback shot that. I called Blayback and I was like, Blayback, dude, we gotta go fucking, because that's like gold in your lap. You know what I mean? Like it's on fucking Sepulveda. 100% someone's gonna see this shit and they're gonna break it off. You know what I mean? And you know, the lip slide is still up for grabs. Like whatever I want, you know what I mean? You wait too long and somebody else got that lip slide for you, buddy. Now you got to do something better. So I've immediately went and fucking lip slid that shit.
It's not in. Is it in? You couldn't find it in Who?
It's at the end of one of. I'm pretty sure it's an arcade part.
Yeah. Well, he's looking at Gumbo right now.
But at the it's like after Black Hammers, so it'll be after the. That's Gumbo. Yeah, it's not this one.
It's not.
I think I grinded a Pacific Design Center rail.
Which shoes are those, bro?
Osiris?
The smallest Osiris shoes they made.
Okay.
I don't know what they were, but they were the only shoes I could wear.
Damn, getting a line at fucking LA fucking high.
You know what's funny? The thing I wanted to do most with that line was that step change in the push.
What do you
Like
mean?
guy? Like try to be like the guy scenario?
Whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like you're backwards and you kind of do a Mongo switch step.
Yeah. Well, because guy has that famous just turnaround there.
Yeah, the sickest turnaround.
So,
right?
but you were trying to like, okay.
I think I'd pushed that way one time and I was like, oh, that's fun. I like that. And then I was like, I want to try and do that. Man.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like when you see clips of me doing, I think I might have been the first person to skate that spot too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the stuff I get there first, and then I can get away with the shit I can get away with. Mm-hmm. Honestly, you know what I mean? Just being legit.
And when you're
like,
talking about getting away with it, you're talking about just like the most basic, like ollie or lip slide,
Certainly.
or like something
Yeah.
where then the next person's got to crooked grind it or back lip it or like do whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
no one
'cause
was really
I don't know if it's like that like now, but at the time it was like taboo. You didn't run shit that had already been run. You know,
no,
like
no,
once somebody hit that
Same
shit,
trick all
it's
day.
done. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but everyone's
That's
so
same-
good
it's the
now.
same- it's the same deal though.
Everyone's so good now, they could like, all that can be done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Back then, there's only you were like that lip slide, the out thing. No one was touching that back then.
No. It wasn't long after that. Man,
Cairo crooked grinded that thing. He had a cover.
I feel like the redheaded kid with the crazy long name that rode.
Uyghur?
Was it? He
Uyghur?
rode for Enjoy.
Yeah, Uyghur
Uyghur
Van
Van
Uyghur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did a back lip on that. That rail right there. It was one of the only crosslocks.
oh, there it is.
And the reason is because I had just ate shit. Like the one before this, like full, man, just, and I feel like a lot of times I would I wouldn't warm up. I would just throw myself into the grinder and knowing I'm either going to make this or I'm going to slam. When I slam, the adrenaline's going to come on and ain't shit mattering from there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so this was one of the days where it was like, I'd been wanting to do that. We're down there and I was like, fuck. Okay.
Did you notice anything different though about that grind, the cross lock?
Yeah. Well, what happened is I got on my toes and I was like, so not gonna slam that I literally was like, and I just, I shifted I locked it. I found a way to, I was like,
Wow.
where I'm not gonna go down with this thing.
But
you
then
know?
I would be like, you didn't think like, oh, that's a better way to grind.
See, look,
Oh
I was on my
God,
toes
you
and I was like,
are.
fuck that.
You're like on
Yeah.
the inside.
You
Yeah.
pushed your back
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Because I didn't want to see them stairs again.
That's
You
the
know,
first
like,
that's the first cross lock right there, bro.
I don't know if it's the first. Doubtful. It was mine. It was my first crosslock. I'll own that shit.
But there was never like, whoa, that was a lot easier to get down. It was. You're probably just like thankful.
You probably
to be
just
done
like
with it.
happened.
I
right?
had my
You're not
own.
gonna-
I had my own way. You know what I mean?
right.
Like that felt good to me. Like I was saying earlier, like I could feel it. Like there was a literal thing. I can almost feel it now. Even it's like right in the back of my arch. I could feel like pressing against
Once
my
it's
board
in.
in that place. And once it's there, it's like, oh, I can control that. You know what I mean? I
There
got
it
a
is
lot of
again.
control.
Another
across the
backside.
line.
Yeah.
That's backside though. Backside is fucking.
But backside, that's the way that people usually do it. Front side's like, I guess that. Remember, Braden Hoban was saying it's usually backside, not front side.
Right.
But see, that's backside, and that's not crosslock.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah,
It just
you stayed
wasn't
centered the whole time.
Yeah, man. it's
Again,
so
a lot of
crazy,
those
bro.
things. So something like that, to me, is that the bails are different. Like how long I'll spend on it. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I'm grinding a 20 stair rail, I'm gonna get in a position that'll get me to the end of that thing, and the safest space is on my board, no matter the condition. I don't want to see the stairs.
Right.
You know, whereas I'm skating a kink rail, you might be able to jump into the bushes. There's flat in between it. That's like a decent escape route, you know?
Yeah,
So you
gotcha.
can kind of fuck around with them a little bit. But so that crosslock, that backside crosslock was just like,
Saving grace.
but whatever comes, like I'm gonna see the bottom of this shit.
That's
Like
amazing, dude.
What's your one of your favorite?
Oh, here, wait.
rail- okay,
Before we
go ahead.
we found the lip slide real quick. We got to watch this whole part. Probably
know,
it's
dude.
insane, but okay. Do we miss it, JC? Let's see. Here we go.
I was the first person to skate that rail too.
I
yeah.
remember that spot. I think I was there that day.
There it is.
Yeah,
First,
I
all
remember.
those
Yeah,
were.
he
I
did-
think
he
all
did
those were
backflip
first.
on that.
Yeah, totally.
you're right.
And am I wrong? Like
Yeah.
I would have got shut the door on. Like
Yeah.
you know, if I didn't really go after that shit, it would have been his.
Wow. Yeah, that spot was because here's the thing: is like what people, obviously, and I don't know if it matters, but you had to go over the curb there.
It totally fucking mattered. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that. Like legit, when I got there that night, I was like, dude, this is a lip slide. I'm about to get away with a
but
lip
then
slide.
there's that little curve
And for lip slide, most specifically,
Yeah.
man, you really gotta like hook. That's why that
You gotta
back lip
commit.
blew my mind. I saw that and I was like, this dude is no fucking joke, man.
Yeah, dude.
Because you really gotta like almost put your weight against it, and then and it's not long either, so you only have this short period of time to change my weight from like against it to like where a place that I can impact and roll away.
Am I tripping? Did somebody bust that out with the sledgehammer?
Really?
I went there in 2017, and it was all still
It was
the
there.
same.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but that was obviously a while
feel
ago.
like I feel like somebody busted that out with the sledgehammer. But this is Arcade Who. Is this still your part? Let's see.
Yeah.
We gotta go
Oh,
watch it.
dude. Yeah.
Wait
there
a
we
minute.
go.
Wait a minute. But that was in but that was in Land Pirates, right?
Well, so Matt and Mike were both filming that. So that was the Land Pirates was Matt's angle.
Really quickly, pull up Land Pirates. We're gonna go back to Arcade Who because we got to watch that part. But pull up Land Pirates. Shout out to Matt Solomon. I had a little part in there too, dude. Matt
love
Solomon
Matt.
and these guys.
Totally
I'm
shout
just
out
gonna
to
like
Matt Solomon.
give these
You
guys a
fucking
little bit
rule.
of credit right now because like Solomon, Dandruff, like all these guys, they weren't like. They were like you said. They kind of gave everybody opportunities, right? Like
So
Like
much.
Hot Rod was kind of the hub, and like they brought people in, and it was just this like very cool community. It's like Donny Barley when he moved here, like Hot Rod was the everybody kind of Eric Dredd, like I got my first board at Rip City, But then shortly after that, it's like Hot Rod became the home to LA skateboarders.
So much a home.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, start to finish. Like I said earlier, those dudes housed me, you know,
Right.
in the very beginning. Like that was my introduction to LA as I come out here to a couch, you know, like to support, from the very beginning. And so as much as it felt like I was on my own, you know, cause I am fighting my own battle to like, for my future individually, but a lot of people, man, really awesome people.
Like they wouldn't, it's hard to explain. Like they wouldn't just, you know, be like, oh, they weren't just like skate shop dudes. They were like, you know, they wanted to find, not that they wanted to find opportunity, but they would lend opportunity if the opportunity arises, right? They weren't like trying to keep it, not that they were like skaters, but they weren't like, they were very like just bountiful. Does that make sense?
Two different things. So
Oh.
first is Druff. I feel like he really took care of me. Like he would give me boards in the intermittent. So like an hourglass. I did run out of boards before boards started to come, and because of Hot Rod, they kept me in boards. Like legit kept me in boards. And when my dad got killed, Druff gives me a Patsy Cline CD, you know, to listen to. You know, just little thing, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
little things like that, like care. It wasn't just, I'm going to help you. There was legitimate care, you know?
Yeah. You felt that too when you walked in there.
Dude,
like
totally.
Dan was, whoever walked through that door, Dan was like, what's up, dude? Like just totally like,
You're
where
out
are
of
you,
gas.
where are you from, man? Like, you know, he'd fully just, you know, it was rad. It was really rad. Okay. Land Pirates. This is 2002. This is Matt Solomon's little video. You had a crazy song. Did you pick that song?
No.
Okay. Just wondering. Okay. Anybody that wants to know the song, just go pop it on.
No, that's Matt Solomon.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the art of Matt. Like this whole video is the art of, and what's crazy about it is, I think I'm a bit of a control freak. And so again, the wrestling over my clips with Jamie, who, like you said, I know I'm losing that, you know, but I still got to like
Fight
for some manner of control.
All day.
And this was one of the only video parts I ever had that I didn't personally edit.
Okay.
And so it's cool to watch someone else's take on it. And I love that he included shit that I would never have run. Like
That was gnarly. The Ollie of
Yeah.
Dorsey.
yeah. And again, I think that day was like at the beginning of it, I think a lot of crazy shit has gone down on that since.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this line. I love that line. And I wouldn't just not use it because that handrail wasn't that big.
That slam.
Yeah.
You did that
Dude.
before you went up and did it?
Man, so
Is that Fairfax?
that's
No.
MacArthur Park.
It's like downtown.
Yeah, so man.
Bro, you bounced off of
I
that like a sack of
bounced.
rocks.
Yeah,
bro.
dude, that got me. That one really rocked me.
Face?
Yeah. That
Yeah,
was in the
split my
beginning
chin, chipped my tooth. I'm pretty sure I was legit out for a hot second.
Wow.
And I did it the very next try.
We'll turn on the sound for this one though here in a second. But
Oh yeah, this is some of the shit we had talked about
That's what we-
earlier.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
me
yeah,
celebrating.
yeah, yeah.
But in all fairness,
What just
I
happened
just
before?
fucking won the fight. You know what I mean? He tried to knock me out.
Straight up.
It didn't work, and I came back swinging. You know?
That's a good way to
For real. That's how. That was it. Yeah.
it's like the most like your wheels didn't even get a chance to like hit the ground before you started to just go.
I knew I was making it well before I landed it.
It's iconic though. Like it is an iconic land and just
really is.
celebrate.
I hated that angle too. What's crazy? Like I hated that angle.
Who did
It
you
is
say film
kinda
that?
weird.
Matt filmed that angle. Mike filmed the other angle,
Okay.
which was in that.
That's so
brings that,
good,
though.
It is great.
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! Oh, so Joey took with
Brzezinski?
Yeah.
Okay.
They built a skate park there, Carl's Jr. Park, And so when that park first opened, I was out here and I was skating with Joey, and he's like, dude, let's go look at that rail. And keep in mind, I'm probably in my 30s at this point. Yeah. And I not doing that shit at all. And I'm surfing. And we go over there, and I walked to the top of that, and I looked at it with different eyes. I was like, nope. Like, who did that? I don't know who did that. I don't know him. I don't know him anymore.
That guy is long gone.
So, like, who does that?
Right.
Like, I looked at that thing like, fuck no. Fuck no.
That was you, bro.
Yeah, no. Yeah, man, that rail wasn't all that sketchy to me. It's square, it's fat. You know what I mean? If you lock on that good, the problem with it is that there's a dog leg at the bottom. So you get going 100 and have to bail off the side. Dude, that's more ruthless than the stairs. So I did not want that. And so in my hesitation, I kept on my heels too much, and that led to that slam.
Okay.
And so the very next time, I was like I said, I was like, no more fucking around. Like, I'm going to get right on the top of this bitch and ride it to the end. And so, like I said, like, once I was locked in, I was like, you would have to fucking tackle me to get me off this thing, you know? So I knew it was just...
How does your brain even function when you're like hit your head that hard, bro, and you split your chin open and you go back up to what just took you out? And like, how do you even...
I think at your best, you are not functioning. It's a flow state.
Yeah,
like that's where you know what I mean? Where you're most capable.
Your adrenaline's going. You're just fucking,
so many, dude. I at Slam City Jam, I think it was my first year. I did so good. Like again, little sidebar. I hit every rail on the course, and I only missed one trick, and it was a backside stall on the 4-foot quarter pipe. Because I did not skate that shit. Oh my God. It was embarrassing, dude. But at the end of it, Jason is at the top of the deck, and he's like, holy shit, did you hear that? And I'm like, no, I didn't hear nothing. Like, I did not hear a damn... I wasn't aware of the crowd. Yeah, that's the other angle.
That angle was
fucked. Damn. Wait, who's Jason Rogers?
Yeah.
What was he talking about when you said, what did you hear that?
Oh, the crowd.
Oh.
Like and so to some extent, it's almost, I missed that. You know, I wish I had been present enough that I wasn't, you know, to like be really involved in the whole thing. Right. There's the same, at that same contest. I remember one time at USC, looking at you made me think of this because of Girl. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if you were there, but Costin was for sure there. I think it was Costin and Scott, a couple other people. But what I remember was like I had introduced myself to Costin because we're all hanging out talking about where we're gonna go skate next, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm Daniel," and he's like, "I know who you are," and it was like a weird moment of like, "Oh shit." Because, you know what I mean? Like, I always saw myself as an outsider. You know what I mean? Like, I watched him in videos, you know? And so to, like, have never introduced myself and then him, I don't know.
That. No, yeah. Say that, yeah.
Yeah, sure. It was cool. There was a lot of, and to see how many cool people there were that I was day one. I met him early on before I was sponsored. Nicest fucking dude.
Best dude ever.
Just so seriously, the best dude ever.
Yeah.
Again, core memory. That day we were skating over the picnic table at Mar Vista. Do you remember that bump?
Yeah, of course.
And he would go back every time. There was like real smooth run up, and he would sand his tail. He would polish his tail, and he's like, "Yeah, that gets better pop." I remember, like, it sticks with me. It sticks in my head. Anytime I'm on smooth ground or I'm rubbing on my tail, I'm like, it gets better pop.
That's insane. Isn't that funny? The little things that, like, you had so many interactions with, like, probably like hundreds of people, different thousands of times, and then that one little thing like sticks with you.
That one little thing was like one of my first interactions with a guy. You know what I mean? You're like, he's talking to me first of all. Right. He's nice to me second of all, and is he kicking some wisdom too? Like, you know, like. I'm gonna record this whole thing and store it.
That just goes to show, like, the community of skateboarding, because, you know, like, I had a similar situation with Tom Penny when I first met Tom Penny, and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Like, he knew my name, and I was like, "That is fucking crazy, bro. Tom Penny knows who I am. That is psycho." But we all know each other without knowing each other.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's just like
Well, there's a point that when you're coming up and you think no one knows you, and the person you idolize knows you, it's like that's I understand. Like,
yeah, man.
Like you're not it's not Eric Costin and Penny meeting each other at the same time. It's like some new kid, and they're like, "Whoa, my talent and what I've done and my work has reached you somehow." That's a crazy scenario.
And at the time, you didn't have followers. You didn't know. You couldn't see it. You didn't know that this magazine I'm in, that this video I'm in, is being seen by hundreds of thousands of people around the world, in perpetuity. I was skating Woodward, and I was still visiting as a pro like years after. So this is like well into my decline, and Corey Cepeda, is that his name?
Oh, Cody Cepeda.
Cody Cepeda. Yeah. Cody Cepeda was like a big, I think he had just won Battle at the Barracks. He was big, and he had a crowd. None of the kids knew who I was. None of the kids. But he sees me, and he's like, "Holy shit." And I was like, I wasn't really familiar with him, but it was like a weird generational moment of like, he saw me in 401. No one gives a shit about me. But the guy who everyone gives a shit about is like, holy shit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
like there's this circle of life type shit.
Totally.
And then again, oh my God, weird how many people are going to see this shit. It was like a moment of like, oh, wow.
Right.
You know,
sometimes you think that like the newer generation doesn't know their history, or they don't know, they didn't do their research maybe. So it's like, oh, who are these? Who's this guy? You know?
I'm sure the modern kids don't know who I am at all, but
maybe they do years ago. Maybe they do. I don't know. Because here's the thing, is like maybe not most of them, but some of them do surprise me, man, when they come up and they're like, you know, a little 10-year-old or 12-year-old kids like, dude, I love the 9 Club. I'm like, you're not our demographic, dude, but I love that because you want to learn, you know? And I feel like people coming on our show is like such a learning thing. You could learn about the photographers, you could learn about who they shot, you could learn about the skater, what they skated for, how they navigated the industry. Like there's so much stuff.
That's one of the things I like about your show. It also feels like almost like a time capsule. Like when you watch it and you see, who did you guys have on? Julio De La Cruz?
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember that New Deal video.
Yeah. Chariots of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Remember it was in slow motion? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
he was like flipping his board.
Yeah. Man, it's cool what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like as a catalog, as like hey, this is skateboarding. It's really cool and really humbling to like be part of. Like, thank you for having me to be.
I love it because, like, you know, some people come to the table, you know, so to speak, pardon the pun, but that maybe wasn't even on my radar. Like no offense, but like Carlos D'Andretti. He was just on our show recently. He wasn't really on my radar to have him on the show, but like when the opportunity came up to have him on, we were like, 100%, dude. He didn't really even stay that long in the skateboard industry. Come to find out, it was like 8 years, but he really left an impact. And people were like, damn, you guys got Carlos D'Andretti on the show. That is so fucking sick. Because everybody has their like fan base, you know? And like it was a smaller industry back then too. So everybody kind of made a bigger impact, I feel like.
I think that and again, just being honest.
Sure.
I was like the BC guy. You know what I mean? Like, and so that far down, once it gets diluted to that point, like certainly Cody saw me in a 4-1. You know what I mean? Like that was his era. You know what he was watching as he was growing up. But once you get that far removed, certainly, I saw a video recently that was not like a skateboard video that had a clip of Muska grinding a rail. You know what I mean? There are some things, those dudes, Muska and Jamie and Pat, you know, like they were that's A tier,
right?
You know? And so certainly I held my own in that race, but I don't think I ever did anything that was that, you know?
I think you did enough, though, that you became a household name in that era.
Totally.
Sure.
Like
everybody knew Daniel. I mean, you even had the nick Danrail Haney because everybody
Barley gave
had
that to me.
Donny Barley gave that to you. It's fucking incredible, bro. I don't know how you felt about that nickname, but it described you to a T, man.
Yeah, I don't know if he had like boiled it up or it just came out, but we were just hanging out at Hot Rod, and he said it in sentence. He's like, "Fucking Danrail, blah 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 blah."
It's incredible.
And it just stuck. Yeah, totally it stuck.
Did you like that, or were you kind of like, "Whoa, dude, that's kind of a weird one, Donny"? Not that you're going to say that to Donny Barley.
Yeah. No,
I can feel you weren't mad at it.
I don't think so.
That's a pretty cool name, man.
Yeah.
Danrail Haney.
There were things that it took me a minute to like. They called me in Thrasher. They called me a bruiser or a brawler or something like handrail brawler. Like it was but just it's weird seeing. Just weird.
Somebody
was that in the Teddies where they give you that little like?
No, it's probably like the the news section. Or something like that.
I think it was a caption for something at the ponds.
Well, maybe that's why they said because you weren't doing. There's no handrails at the ponds.
Again, I'm not saying I disliked it, but at the time I was just like, "How am I being?" You know, like I didn't feel.
You don't know them. They're perceiving you as something.
Yeah. Again, I went on this tour to Frisco, and one of the guys on tour, it was like a hodgepodge. It wasn't people that I rode with necessarily. And I broke out. I had my yoga mat. So when we go into the hotel, I'm bringing my yoga mat in, and the dude is like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I have thought you were going to have a bottle of Jack Daniels and fucking you know? And you got a yoga mat?" Like,
here comes the hippie over
here.
Like,
who is this dude? Yeah, what is going on?
But that's so funny, the perception, though.
Yeah, no.
I found out who you were just because you hung out with like that type. Then listen.
Oh yeah, listen.
Like that was where I saw all of you guys.
Did that open the door for you? Sorry,
that's totally like what?
Because it opened the door for me. It opened the door for a lot of people. I feel like, dude.
Because you were so different from everyone in that video.
Honestly, Foundation, 100%. Even as short of the time as I spent on Foundation. Even still, like somebody just the other day was like, "Dude, duty now for the future." And if there's anything that still resonates, it's that. Like that's what people remember. And to me, I'm like, "Oh, dude, like that's so." Funny, I feel like I did so much better.
Well, I honestly, I don't even remember. I don't even remember the Foundation. I remember the arcade era.
Yeah,
that's what I know you as, like arcade.
That was honestly that was comfortable. That
bro, Jason Rogers. I mean, the team alone, Casey Rigney, Joe, like everybody, like it was so Malcolm Watson, like
it was family. It was all people that I knew them. I liked them. When we were talking about Girl earlier, right? You're not getting on Girl by being the best dude. You got to fit. You know what I mean? You got to get down. You got to like lock in and be part of what is actually going on, not just be good.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to be good for everything. And I did not feel that on Foundation, you know? Yeah. And getting on arcade was, man, I really... Sad. I almost got in a fight with Sad.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
No way.
Yeah.
On tour or like just
our first trip we went to Woodward, and
Sad. I love that. Okay, let's hear this one.
Again, I'm a hardhead redneck. You know what I mean? Like I'm used to. Anyway, like different person. And we get there, and Jason actually probably described it best. But I don't even know what we were arguing. I think I might have just met Sad, like on arrival. And I knew him, obviously, like I knew who Sad was, but I don't think I'd ever met him in person. And if I had, we had limited interaction. Mm-hmm. And we got to arguing over, he wanted to like break the bed up. He wanted to like split it in half, and he was going to sleep on the box spring. I was going to sleep on the mattress. And I was getting the better end of the deal. I don't even know why. I don't know. I probably didn't like the way, you know.
It was presented.
I felt like I needed to like
flex or something.
Just stand up for myself. I don't know. Yeah. Again, that's probably just misconception, but I couldn't tell you. What Jason said, and so we get like heated, dude. We're like face to face. We're just like, and Jason's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is our team's first trip, and this is it. Like, this is what we're doing. This is what oh my God. He's like, fuck, is it done before it starts? And we cooled off, and we made peace. And Jason is like, we're talking about it later, and he's like, yeah, he's like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. He's like, got redneck from Arkansas over here and Sad from South Central. I know that this is going to get, he's like, going to get messy, and I think it was a good, I don't know, maybe the people I ran with when I was young, it was like a brotherhood, you know what I mean? And so maybe maybe for Sad too, you know what I mean? It's like that, like, who the fuck are you really, And it was like, okay, I can dig that from both sides. It was like, okay, cool, and never, I actually think of Sad was like, became like he was like the sage of arcade. Like he would kick wisdom, dude, like all the time, like in just the most sad fucking mystic wizard way,
with his bleached handlebar mustache and his rag. Yeah.
Speaking of perceptions, like it feels so weird that you're so far, like
I'm right here, dude.
Yeah,
not in your headphones. I'm right there. Yeah.
Don't get caught slipping.
I had a totally different perception. I had a totally, and it's like simple as, you know what I mean? Like
simple as that. Yeah. It's amazing, dude.
But he believed it. You know what I mean? He wasn't, that's all I needed from him, was for him to be legit. Like it seemed from the outside, I was like, who is this dude? Right. Like, is this an act? Like, what do you really got going?
Pull up a Sad.
And he's fucking Sad, 100% who he is. And he knew it. He knew it early on and wasn't afraid of people like me, misjudging that shit. He was just like, I'm going to be Sad.
Yeah.
I am going to do this thing that, is kind of cringy, maybe not even cringy, but the whole condom thing, don't get caught slipping.
Don't get caught slipping. Yeah.
I was like, what?
But it was like, those were like little sketches, in those videos, and to like outside, like those hilarious, you're like, oh my God, it's hilarious. But then also he had his trademarks, right? He had his rag,
Mr. Wipes.
He skated in. He called it Mr. Wipes. Yeah, I didn't know that. Dubs had his dubby rag, but you didn't really skate with your dubby rag though. He held it.
I had it.
He had
to wipe myself down in between.
Right. Oh, here we go. This is
he skated that Curtis Mayfield song in 4-1.
So good.
This part, dude, so sick.
I see Sad all the time. Not all the time, but I see him around, and we always say, you got to come on the show, Sad. You got to come. We just haven't made it happen yet. But
please come on the show,
I know,
Sad.
He's so good, bro.
What, he's got a puppy?
That would be an awesome show.
Sad is
a fucking character, man.
Yeah.
And still, I was watching clips of him skating yesterday, day before. Still, I skated with Oriuchi today.
Oh, God,
and
so
I love skating with older guys. And just seeing, like I was saying with you, for sure you still got it. You know what I mean? Like it's locked in.
Right. It's got to do it. It's got to do it.
Yeah, totally. And he was just killing it, dude. And he always blew me away because he was so good.
Right.
Like if you ever skated with him, everything was on command.
He had a good really good style.
Yeah.
He still does, actually.
That's what I'm saying. He still looks like sad to me. Like in the
Yeah,
clips, I was
he
like,
does.
that's still sad, dude. Like,
Was that me right there? No. Who is that?
Robbie.
could be
That's
you.
Robbie.
It's either me or Robbie.
I'm
bro.
almost
he's got a
positive it's
DC shirt
Robbie.
on,
Oh,
so maybe
DC?
Robbie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's
okay,
just look at the way he
Yeah, maybe that is Robbie.
look
He
at that
did,
little.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Robbie.
He like,
I mean,
oh shit, someone's swimming a line.
We were all there.
But
you know?
the way he even the run out was the shoulders and the.
Yeah.
He's his rag, man. No, I love Sad, dude. And he's always such a nice guy.
Yeah, Sad's fucking
He is
awesome. Man.
great.
He's the man.
So we
He was the
gotta-
only one skated that freaking ledge. That thing was so damn high. And I don't know, he would skate that flat gap all the time too, at Dorsey sideways like that.
Yeah.
Like Nolly healed it, I think, once. That was insane.
Don't get caught slipping.
Did he Nolly Hill?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was not afraid to just get out there,
Yeah.
and that wound up being that's some iconic shit.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure, dude. Yeah, I thought Arcade was a good company, dude. I was kind of there's those companies kind of that come and go, and that was one that I was kind of like sad about. I was like, damn, man, it's like I wish that one would have worked out.
It's like a bunch of underground like people that ripped. The way I looked at it,
Casey
right?
Rigney,
What,
like
Brian London.
Brian London,
Dude, he
yeah.
was gnarly.
So London, I literally went down. I think I was working on my pro graphic, and I was in San Diego with Jason, and he's like, "Dude, you want to watch some Sponsor Me tapes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's fucking watch some Sponsor Me tapes. Those will be fun." You know, like I never got to be at that side of the industry, and so we popped his Sponsor Me tape in, and I'm like, "The fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like." Boards, and I was like, "Is this dude on? Like, what is the deal?" And he's like, "No, I've been giving him a couple words." I'm like, "On tomorrow, now, like, right on. If anyone else sees this, he's gone. Like, he's gone.
Right.
Like, there's." And he's like, "Really? You think so?" I'm like, "Did you just see, dude? He was so good. Like, he
gotta
was
watch-
so fucking good, man. Like,
Where was
prodigy
he
level
from?
good.
Was he from San Diego?
I think so. Yeah."
I remember he fakey front heeled the mock before, and I was like, "What the?"
Dude, he did. So he would just talk about stuff. He'd be like, "Oh, what do you like?
Oh, there's sponsor tape.
Fakey ollie backside lip, this crazy steep rail." And I don't know how many people had even done that at that point.
Dang,
Yeah,
right?
he got bugged,
Who's
dude.
broken their board like that? Ow!
One of one.
Oh, there's
no.
the LD finger.
No.
Well, this was before
Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, man. It was a good team, dude. I liked it. And Jason Rogers always put out good stuff. You know, I feel like he had a good kind of eye. And, you know, we did Autobahn.
Yeah.
And he always had, like, good companies, I thought.
Yeah, Jason's a super talented
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Like a really all around, you know, like he would do the ads, he would do like he really just ran the whole thing.
Right.
The ideas for videos and things
What
like that.
exactly, do you remember what happened at towards the end? Was it just, like, funding?
Yeah, it was
just-
funding. It
oh,
just wasn't making the money.
Okay.
I guess.
I don't remember why. I don't know what happened to it.
Well,
It was out of what Osiris was out of, right?
Yeah, we're a smaller company, you know, and I think initially probably it just wasn't worth continuing to invest in. You got Osiris, you know, you got all this other stuff.
Right.
They kept Autobahn, so
Yeah.
there was some money coming in. I imagine they just had to cut it down.
Right.
Did you
now-
turn pro for arcade?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Love that. Yeah, it was a good team, dude.
Yeah.
And that's where it ended for me pretty much.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for coming, man. It's been a great show. No, but seriously, so when Arcade went out, how old were you when that folded?
I was late 20s.
Late 20s. Okay. So you didn't think you could find another sponsor, or did you try?
No,
or were you just like,
I
that
was getting
it?
boards. I had a couple people that were interested that I could have moved forward with.
Oh.
But I remember there was this bike path in front of my house that I used to skate. And I was out there skating the bike path one day, and I was just like, and that was what was going through my head, you know, like, and once you clear away everything, I was like, the fuck am I doing? You know? I bought a house, I bought an apartment building. I was doing okay, you know? And I was like, so this is a turning point, you know what I mean? I can go back to skateboarding and I can get on a team of people that I don't know, that, you know, I don't have that same connection and comfort. And do I want to do that? Do I want to go on tour? Because then it becomes work. You know, like arcade was not work. It was fun. The whole shit was fun. It was like being a kid in a candy store. Like Jason would come up with ideas, like we're going to rent an RV and we're going to make this documentary, you know, and we just got to be wild little dickheads, you know, and I loved that. And I just was like, I don't know if it's going to be work, you know, I'm going to have to like, and I'd already done what I wanted to do, you know, it was like kind of already did my thing.
Also for a kid who grew up poor and in you know, the situations that you were in, to now afford to buy houses and apartments and stuff like that, it's just incredible, bro.
Well, I tell you, it wasn't by accident, man. I never spent any of my money.
Really?
Like when I remember I was getting paid from Osiris. I was getting paid from Billabong. Like I almost didn't ride for Billabong.
Wow.
Cause, and that wound up probably being my best sponsor, but it was like a sellout, you know, that was at a point in time in skateboarding where there was like this turn, you know, and, like people were like, there was money in it. And so people were coming for it. And I wasn't trying to let Billabong get, you know what I mean? Like, get it. But I was also poor as shit, and I was trying to not work at an insurance company, and they were going to pay me as an AM, you know, better than even Foundation was paying me.
Amazing.
And so, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that shit. And then I think it was probably Solomon. I was talking to him, and I really respected him, you know, as like his level of integrity and who he was. And I think he's like, dude, just take the fucking money. And I was like, okay. Best decision, dude.
Yeah.
They treated me so fucking good. That was the awesomest company. And I think probably maybe to some degree affected my future trajectory towards surfing because it was, I remember one time going down there to I would actually drive down to pick my packages up and just shop through the warehouse. I would just go through and just pick shit out.
Oh, the good old days.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh,
Give me a cart.
How fucking awesome is that shit?
Yeah.
And for them, they had watches and literally I would get t-shirts to wear, and I would get like wetsuits and snowboard jackets and watches and the shit that I would never in a million years buy for myself.
Right.
Like I never spent money.
And they never had like a cap for you, like
I think they had it in seasons.
Okay.
And so you'd come down and they'd give you 100 pieces or whatever it was.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
and so you could. And it was funny because I think a watch, like a $500 watch, was one piece.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're like,
Getting birthday gifts and Christmas gifts and shit.
Man.
for real.
Yeah.
Sorry, Billabong, but you totally did. Totally did.
It comes with the
I
territory,
got snow clothes for my girlfriend. Like 100. Got wetsuits so I could dive in them.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
dude.
marketing. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
For
No,
sure.
I don't. They didn't give a shit. Funny man. Years later, and Billabong, they even told me, they were like, "Look, man, we're not fucked up about this whole thing. Like, you get another, but you do got to get another board sponsor. We're with you. We're riding, but you got to get another board sponsor." And so the path was still open.
Okay.
It just was like, I wanted to surf. Really, I wanted to like do something. I started surfing, and I was like, I had this dream of like going to Costa Rica and buying land and opening like a little surf hostel.
Okay.
Which I did that. Didn't follow through 100%, but I attempted. That was the next thing. I made an attempt. Man, I lost the
But
whole.
you just like, you gave it all up.
Oh yeah.
Well, because you could have gotten another board sponsor. You said you were entertaining a couple
Yeah,
little
yeah, there was
different
a-
things,
and
but
actually-
you're giving up like all these checks. You're giving up checks, you know?
No, I think at that point it wasn't giving up checks. It was turning down a job. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to work.
Right.
I didn't want to, I wanted to use my life. And it was like, am I just fucking repeating this shit? You know, like if I wish I had done it. I don't really wish that. There are times because I feel like I'd probably still be riding for the board company, you know? Like they seem to be very good at like sticking with their people, you know?
Santa Cruz?
No.
Oh.
Powell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be a good.
Again, I don't know where that was going. That's where there was
What
a couple.
era- what
That was
era-
where era what no one knew
Fun?
where it was going at that
Was
point.
that
Yeah,
fun?
I think I was getting boards from 0 2. I don't know how serious Jamie would have been, but I was getting boards from a couple different places.
okay.
But there was definitely places to have landed.
Yeah.
I went out the last little. Oh, and I got hurt. I went on a tour. I went on a tour to Brazil with Junior, and tore my MCL and my medial meniscus, and it was like the first real recovery injury I've ever had. Like like I said, I twisted my ankles and I've broken hands and but that was like moving up the chain. It was like, fuck my knee. Right. And it kind of reframed it, and so the idea of carrying on and when I sacked one time so fucking hard, like split my whole shit open, legit, like is that thing gonna keep functioning?
Wow.
And so there was just a couple of like little PTSD type shit. Like, how serious am I gonna? and my game is jumping on shit at the time. So it was just turning down a job.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
And I didn't need the money for the job.
That's respectable, bro.
Another person, I never even thought about it in those terms until you said that, but I remember Robbie at one point quitting Girl because he was like, I'm not skating anymore. And I thought of that as, I was like, that's some integrity. You know what I mean? Because Girl would have fucking, you know what I mean? They loved him. They would have they would have been with him.
There was an also issue of him not turning pro. So he was, I think it was like both.
Okay.
I
don't know all the inner workings, but I just remember him being like, I'm good with.
Right. But if he would have stuck with it, they would have turned him pro.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
Either way, to me, it felt like he walked away.
Right.
He was like, I'm just gonna.
Right. And he did the same thing. He was surfing all the time, and
Yeah.
I think he moved to Hawaii and did. He was.
Oh yeah. He had his own source of income. He's like, I'm handling my shit.
Right.
Super smart guy.
Like computer stuff. He would do like website stuff.
I think he worked for
programming.
MySpace at one point.
I think he did
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Crazy, man.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Rest
no,
in peace.
rest in peace.
Yeah,
Sucks.
yeah, dude.
I love that he at least really pursued, like he loved surfing, you know what I mean? And like he was where he wanted to be when it ended,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes going out on your own terms is good.
And after it's all said and done, you're not, like what different, when doesn't matter.
I want to fast forward though, because what do you mentioned something that I didn't even know you were doing this at the moment, but your treehouse stuff, what's going on with this treehouse thing?
Yeah. So track back to like 2005, I sold my apartment building. No, I sold my house. I sold my house and kept the apartment building. And I liquefied it so I could go to down south and buy land and build a hotel. And my brother had, I offered to pay a year's salary for him to travel with me, to like take a year off, because I had money and I had been paid. Someone paid for me to just do the most wild shit I could ever imagine,
Okay.
And it was like, he can get a taste, you know what I mean? I'd love for him to see what that's like to get out of the, and so, in the beginning, it was funny. He got mad at me. He got mad at me because he had worked really hard to get where he was too. And to him, it was like nonchalant for me to be like a bit cavalier of you to be like, just quit your job, give up everything that you fucking worked forever to do. But in the end, he wound up doing it. And the coolest part, and I'll share this a lot of times, is he came back like once. So one of my tenants had an old car, an 84 Datsun, but it had low miles, and she got rid of it for next to nothing. So I think I gave her like a month's rent to give me the car. And we had this wild idea that we were going to drive the car from here as far south as we could get.
Okay.
And we would stop in Nicaragua and buy land. And so we drove all the way surfing the whole way, surfing every break through Mexico, through El Salvador, the whole way down, and bought land and started building a hotel and got like the first floor done. And then I had a girlfriend at the time. She didn't really want to move. When it push came to shove, you know, she didn't really want to like live in Nicaragua.
Okay.
And so I wind up like putting the building on hold. I bought a house in Arkansas and thinking that that would be a place for us, you know? And then we wind up breaking up, and a lot of different things, you know, a culmination of things, but ultimately the Nicaragua shit just got put on the back burner, and somebody offered to buy it off me, you know, and I was like, I'm paying you know, it's not making me any money. I'm paying to like a caretaker to make sure no one runs off of my toilets and shit. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I took one last look. There was like I had this vision of like having like I was able to buy land on like right out. So this is not interesting. Anyway, it was a good view. I had a good view of the surf break. And I remember looking at the picture being like, fuck, I'm giving this up. And then I was like, it'll be fine. Who knows if I would ever have come back to this and at least walk away with something to invest in. And then I opened like I would call it a lifestyle center. It wound up being way more skate centric because that was not even really my intention, but either it was my gravity or the need for it where I was, but that aspect took off. The shit I was actually trying to do didn't really go anywhere. And so that expanded. Okay. And then I got I had a lease dispute with some friends and wound up dissolving it. Okay. But I took all the lumber, like literally, and just put that in the backyard. I went traveling for 4 months because during the 5 years that I was doing that, like as much as I thought I would just be like, I'll just check in on it, you know, like
hands on.
Oh my God, dude. When I first opened a friend of mine who had a business, she was like, get ready, you know, cause she knows that I'm just drifting. I'm like here and I'm there and I'm all over the place. Like I'm going all the time. And she's like, get ready to just be daddy. Yeah. And I'm like, no. I've got a good manager. Like it's going to be totally fine. No.
Business is tough. Dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And honestly, it was good growth, good like experience for me because figuring out you got to battle, dude. Like you got to and you got to battle in a way that I didn't like. Like there was a lot of like cutthroat, I don't know, like backstabbing and shit that I don't really, I'll be direct with you. You know what I mean? But you'd get stuff secondhand and I didn't like that aspect, but we fought through it and able to actually by the end of it, man, it's funny when it all came apart, was I at the most successful point. Like we were about to open, like now that the skateboarding shit was successful and I did get it to a point where it was kind of doing its own thing. I was about to open a bar. I was going to open a bar above, like we had built into this warehouse. We'd basically built like a 2-story house into this bitch. And it had like a full on, and then there was a vert ramp and it had like leaned out windows where you could like an observation tower.
Yeah.
And my photo studio was upstairs and that was going to be the bar, like a lounge. We were going to open a lounge. We were already doing shows and shit like that and we would get temporary liquor licenses, but we had just got, a permanent liquor license, and right after that, this whole fucking thing happens.
Damn.
And it came apart.
Wow.
But the bright side of that is, as much as it felt like a loss at the time, man, I would be married to a bar right now. You know what I mean? And currently, this is probably the first whiskey I've drank in weeks, you know, if not months. You know what I mean? My life would be 100% different. And I really think it's better where it is now than it would have been if I had just stuck that shit
Sometimes
out.
You can't see it, man. You can't see it.
You got to trust it.
In it.
Yeah. You're good at that. We had discussed that. You're just trusting it.
You trust. You got to trust. You got to have some trust. But then what's this treehouse thing?
Oh, right.
Please tell me about
sorry.
this, bro.
So after the travels, after we got back, I built I built a treehouse with the parts.
Oh, okay. Oh, you took everything down. You had the wood.
I took it
you built a
apart
tree.
instead of just cutting it up and throwing it away.
Where'd you build it on your property or? Just,
yeah,
okay.
in the house. I just put it. I put it under tarps in the backyard, and then left, and then came back, and I was like, "What am I gonna do? What the fuck am I doing now with my life?" And so I built a treehouse, and initially the treehouse was almost exclusively because I wanted to launch into my pool. And so I built, and then I was like, okay, but I didn't want to like get skate light and shit. So I built an actual like roof over the tree. Okay. And it had a clear roof and I had this cool idea of the thing I was going to do. And then the city made me take that shit down. And because I didn't get a permit for it. And which again, it was a lot of work. I mean, years. Like I built it all myself. Right. Wow. And so it was like a very gradual thing. And the rebuild was and then I went traveling again after that. What I wound up doing was teaching yoga. I went into teaching yoga, and I went to India to get my teacher certification. And then after that, I just floated around the world teaching yoga. Like just landed in Sri Lanka for a couple months, and then would just teach and surf, and did that for a couple years, and then started back in Arkansas, getting connected. And my goal was to come back to the Nicaragua thing, was to finish that dream. And so I went around the world looking for like warm water and easy living, someplace that I could establish this. And I thought it was going to be Rio for a while. I was going there. I went there for like 3 or 4 years trying to find what it was going to take to connect and really build something. And then right about COVID, I went to Hawaii. And I was like, you know what? I loved Hawaii as a skateboarder. Me and Rigney went there and filmed like 4 episodes for Captain and Casey.
Sick.
Yeah. I was like, I should go back there now as a surfer and just see, And when I went back, I was like, fucking, this is the thing. Okay. And so I was going to go there, but it felt like God and in no specific term, but like a force greater than myself, right? Like beyond me, kept like putting me in Arkansas in the spring. Like not my plan. I did not want to be in Arkansas. I wanted to be in Rio or fucking Ecuador or some shit, and not under good circumstances, but I love Arkansas in the spring. And I'd already taken that first treehouse down, and my parents wound up moving into the house with me. I'd bought a house. It's a split level. And so they live upstairs, basically nice. 2 houses on a family home. Honestly, the crazy thing about that is when I bought the house is like right down the street from my mom's house at the time. And I bought it as a family house, like with that in mind, because it was way more than I needed. You know what I mean? It had a guest house, and I saw it as like, dude, we already got rent in the guest house, and we have like both of us could live in this house. And my mom was like, nah, I don't want to, it's your house. Like I want my own space, And, but eventually years down the road, it took a while, but it coalesced into exactly what I'd hoped it would be, and so they live there, and I have my space downstairs, and then we have like the yard split up. And I was like, look, how would you feel if I just built the treehouse here, rebuilt the treehouse here, and did an Airbnb? Okay. I don't think it's going to work, but I would like to have the treehouse. I have all this wood. God, for fucking some reason, keeps putting me here. So there's a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is what I'm being asked to do. And I'm not going to fight that another year, Right. And so they were cool with it. And I went and got a permit from the city and built this treehouse. Wow. And I built it this time with that coming into it, like, okay, this is going to be the treehouse. I built an actual room. That's boxed in and like legit TV and a little wood burning stove.
Is it on? Can we look it up online?
Yeah, there's an Instagram, haneywood.bnb.
Haneywood. It's like Hollywood.
Yeah. Somebody gave me that nickname too. Okay. Yeah. But that's why he was a redneck guy. Like after I'd gone off to be big in the big city, and he's like, "Old Haneywood." Haneywood is back. And I like that. I liked it. I was it's a good descriptor. I'm a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll or whatever it is.
It's an Instagram, JC.
Oh yeah,
Haneywood Instagram.
There's a couple. There's a bunch of Haneywood
Oh, is there?
Instagrams.
Oh, wow.
I have.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of interest, and so like when I was just putting my shit out there, when I tried to make it something more legit, I'd started breaking it up. So I have like a Haneywood.skate. That's where all my skate shit goes.
Is it
and
right
then,
here?
Yeah.
That's
it.
Oh my god.
That's sick.
You just built that with all the wood that you had?
Yeah.
You,
Oh,
wait, your
not all
friends
of
working
it.
with you?
No.
You did that yourself?
My
Wow.
Preston helped me lay some of the flooring, but yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
That looks like a legitimate place.
Super.
Yeah, no,
Wood burning stove.
yeah, it's cool, man. It's it's my vibe.
Oh, shit, dude.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. 100%.
That's the bathroom for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bucket and
That's and a little drain for the pee.
Now, what
that's your-
city? Now, what city is this in?
This is in Sherwood. This is in Arkansas.
Okay.
And so I'd already built a lot of stuff out there
Damn.
that was along that. So yeah, so we do yoga down there, and I made it skatable because obviously, but it's not like skating wasn't the first priority in the design. So it's really fucking
Steep looking.
steep. It's tight.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
fast.
Right.
And at the time, I was riding like a 14.5-inch wheelbase.
oh wow.
And I stepped up my wheelbase because I was having a hard time slowing down.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if I got this fucking awkward ass wheelbase, I'm not gonna be able to jump around all nimble, and it's gonna make me, more stationary.
Yeah.
And so I rode that for a while until I built that ramp, and you couldn't fucking skate
Yeah,
that
you need
ramp.
something low, yeah.
And I had a board company at one point, and I had I had a couple of my old boards that the shape I used to ride, and I was like, and it was a little thing, like 7, 8. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna put that shit back together, and I bet this will be fun. And it's funny, that had been kind of like the road back to fucking around with
Nice, dude.
skateboarding.
Do a lot of people come and book the Airbnb?
Dude, so much.
Really?
That's what I'm saying.
it's
Like
constantly been rotation. People are coming out and
this trip has been a challenge because I'm having to manage it from abroad. I've got like someone
okay.
changing out every night, and
damn.
like full on business man.
And it's right in your back.
That's
You
weird.
you walk out and be, hey, what's up? How you
No,
doing?"
dude, it's you'd have to see, like, it's kind of enchanted forest. Like I
Okay,
built. So we had, man, I want to try and squish it down, but so again, this took years. It took me years to get it all through, and right about the time I was getting ready to launch it, I was going to launch it like 2 years ago in spring, and we had a tornado come down my street.
Damn.
And literally down the street. I watched it pass, and it fucking destroyed our whole neighborhood. Wow. Like trees on the house. We had a tree on our house. My parents' bedroom upstairs had a hole in the roof for like 6 months.
Damn.
Yeah. Fortunately, that, like I said, the house is big, and so they
Why did you
just
use
moved
any of
into
the wood
another room.
to fix that?
Cut insurance.
Oh, okay.
I'm not able to.
You can't get up. Haneywood can't get up there and fucking start.
Well, that, and there are like, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But but the tree, you had like the tree, we had to get a crane out to cut the tree off. Like because of the way it was, there was like a big, anyway, it was a shit show.
Damn.
And so it took us, so right about the time we're getting ready to launch, it was like, oh, now we have to rebuild everything. Okay. But the cool part about it is one of the trees that fell on the house stayed alive. And so we just cut it off the house and supported it. Oh. And so now this tree grows in an abnormal way. Like it grows out over the whole area in the backyard. And I built this crazy tall fence that surrounds it. So you really feel like
you're out there.
Right.
Okay.
And we have a creek that cuts the back of our property. So there's, you know what I mean? Like the treehouse, if it's been raining, you hear the water. It's cool. Like it's really cool.
Sounds like you got a cool little thing going on out there, man.
It's got an outdoor shower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, bro.
And so
you just got one, right?
Yeah. Now the plan is to I'm gonna go buy land in Hawaii, and then the business model won't work the same there because of like regulations on Airbnb. But I've got a pretty good idea of how to. I'm going to go build some shit in Hawaii and see where it goes.
I used to watch a show, Treehouse Masters. Really
Seen
good
it.
show. You seen it?
Yeah.
I used to watch that
Great
all the
show.
time, dude. Guy would come and build a treehouse for people. Is a show on like
I feel like I've heard
A&E
of
or
I
something.
feel like I've heard of it, but
It's
I've
a really
never seen it.
it's really good. I don't know if it's on anymore. This
They
was
have
years
Barnyard
ago.
Builders now too.
Barnyard Builders. Okay.
Dude, this shit's nuts, bro. They resurge these old ass like barns like from fucking the 50s and 60s. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think it was probably a mixture of Ewok Village and Swiss Family Robinson.
Okay.
Like early on, I wanted a tree house.
Yeah.
I've had honestly, one of the first things I did when I bought that house in Arkansas was build a tree house. There was these 2 pine trees out back, and I just like, oh yeah, tree house. And so there's been like this evolution of like, because my first tree, it's totally shitty. Totally shitty treehouse, and then little by little, like as I learned to build and get better at it, you know, like
the iterations of it is now. It's. I mean, it looks legit, man. It looks legit. Yeah, I would build a little bit better of a bathroom, but other than that, I think it's pretty good.
A little
It's
more
pretty good.
enclosed?
Yeah, well, maybe just maybe some pipes or something. You know?
it's a composting toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm just listen. Take it or leave it. You know, that's just my advice.
No, that's again, you can't really the permitting for plumbing a
Okay.
bathroom
Oh, right,
is
right.
a big barrier.
Okay.
So that's the only way I could do it. And honestly, it was an add-on.
Yeah.
And I initially, because I lived out there the first year, like I fucking loved it. There'd be times where I would go, I'd go away for the winter. I snowbird, like I said, Rio or Hawaii. And I'd come back, and I wouldn't want to come back. You know what I mean? You get out there and you get used to that shit, and you're like, I don't fucking go back.
Yeah.
And then the first night I would stay in the treehouse, I'd be like, okay, I love this.
That's great, dude.
Um,
Nature, man.
Yeah, no.
Is there electricity or is this like off grid type deal?
No. There's electricity. There's a lamp and stuff in there. But it's very, actually, there was a treehouse I went to in Costa Rica the first time I went to Costa Rica, and that was super inspiring. And what's crazy is I just recently went back to Costa Rica like 2 years ago, and by random chance wound up staying in that same treehouse. Like we had just booked it off of Airbnb or something. And when we got there, I was like, oh my God, this was after I'd built the treehouse. So it was like full circle.
I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. Talk about full circle, man. You sitting here with the hot rod crew. Well, Kelly, you weren't really hot rod
Not
crew,
at all,
man.
no.
You should have been, though. It was a good, Dan
I-
Jeff could have whipped you into shape, dude. Yeah.
I was too young, man.
Nor was I.
Yeah, but you were Val Surf, dude.
Yeah, Val Surf also.
I skated for Val Surf, but hot rod was my home. It's
Yeah.
crazy how that works, you know? It was crazy what $200 will do for you. You
Right.
know what I mean?
You guys had a 6 section in the 4-in-1. You had the
industry section.
Industry section
Yeah.
there, and I was like,
Oh, yeah,
that's
so
the
good.
crew.
Yeah, Val Surf was like, it made sense that you were right
It's just
for them.
funny, man. Like,
They were top tier.
No, I'm talking about the
hot rod.
You the hot rod.
I did that. Like I would film, edit, and I think I actually edited that thing.
Who
Like, I
filmed all
produced
that footage?
Of me?
Like just in general, because it all had this one look to it.
Me.
It was you?
Yeah.
And it had like what camera?
Anything that wasn't me.
That like all that right there?
Yeah.
No way.
I had again, I'm cheap, dude. Like
that was sick looking. It stood out.
well, so what happened is I saw what everyone was doing. It was like VX. You got to have this one camera, but I did the research and I was like, dude, what it really is, what's the pixels, what's this? And they had this Optura camera that would accept the pancake lens, and it had very similar profile features as like a better camera, and it was like a half the price.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought that, and that's what I used to film with.
oh, yeah, there's Mike.
Yeah, so-
Man, what a trip,
Dude, that set
bro.
before it was blown up, the
Yeah.
Westwood.
Eric Dressen, dude. I always found it funny because I used to skate with Eric D and Donny Barley.
I didn't
And it
film
was
any
like
Eric stuff.
What a random.
What a crew.
Me, Eric Dressen, and Donny Barley. Good Lord. Love those guys.
Phil Mackey, dude. Well, he's Australian, right?
Yeah. He was rad, man.
Hell yeah.
Man, a lot of good people hung out there, dude.
Man, dude, it was so much. Speaking of fun, like that's how arcade even came about. Was like all the people I was already hanging out with were now going to be a skateboard
Yeah.
company, and you just got to fuck around, man.
Derek Paris, Robbie McKay. Did I get a trick in here, bro? What the fuck?
We'll see.
I think
can't
you were too
remember.
busy
Did
about
you not?
surf.
Oh, here we go.
Marco, dude.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly. You right for
That's how I met all you guys, just through Marco. Yeah.
Yes, I came
I
with
love Marco, dude.
$2,000 in my sock.
Dude, I think it was like 10,000, right?
Whatever it was, dude.
Yeah.
He made it happen. Which
Yeah.
I love Marco. I got so much respect for that
So
dude.
much.
There's the Muska, bro.
I always remember at Tim Bruns ended it off
yeah.
with the Camelback nose blunt.
Shout out to Tim.
Dude,
Bruns.
that dude, I'd been skating with him for a while, and I remember one day I think we went to uni, and he was like, I was like, what are you gonna do? And it's that 8 stair, and he's like, I think I'm gonna front feeble it. Never seen this dude front feeble, not once. And he was dude, he did it. I was like, I did not know you had. I think something similar to that happened for him, where he like was like, okay, I got to turn it up. And when he turned it up, dude, the dude had a bag.
Yeah.
Like for real. He did kickflip back nose blunt at USC. He did kickflip crooked grind at that
The Outledge.
Robert, like the Beverly Hills thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Popo.
Dude, who was
So
Popo?
Popo. Okay, so
He was around.
Pivotal character in my story is Popo. We were going to go skate with him one night, and I never met the dude. And so we're going to pick him up at his condo. And when we get there, we start talking, and he had just sold his condo for like $210 and had bought it like 6 months prior for $150.
Damn.
And I was like, oh shit, you can do that, you know? And I had been, like I said, I was cheap as fuck. When I talk about locking on the heels, that rail comes into mind, because that was a fucking hard thing to do. Because I had to go, I hated not grinding every inch of the rail. And that rail had so much flat that
that was the first. He was back nose.
yeah, he
blunt.
knows that's the front feeble right there.
Yeah.
So, dude, this dude just started going off. Like, he would just go to a spot and wreck it. And I was like, holy fuck, who are you? They wanted to do an opener with that one. But
That was amazing back then.
Dude, it was blowing doors. But you couldn't, it didn't look super good, super slow, because it was filmed
at night.
at night under low light. Man, I lost where I was.
No, well, it's just funny how, you know, Hot Rod had such a great group of people, Tim Bruns, all these people, but only a few like really actually made it, you know, in the industry. And you were one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
I again, when we go back to talking about like, I feel like if you just be guided, you'll find where you're going. Like Little moved out here with me, right?
Yeah.
We both had the same goal, right?
Yeah.
Like we want to be pro skateboarders. He wound up, his calling was more filming, you know?
Right.
Dude got to tour. He went to Europe with us. Like and that's just in skateboarding. We went from skateboarding to Jackass and toured the world with those dudes, you know, like, and so one thing didn't work, but something else, the freedom, he still found the freedom to just
Totally.
Yeah.
Dude, totally. The industry, you know, filmers, photographers, team man, everybody makes it all happen, you know.
Solomon,
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Like that dude wound up doing Captain and Casey show, Built to Shred.
Built to Shred. And man, rest in peace, Chris Casey. We've lost a lot of people, man, but what a great show. Chris Casey, Captain Casey was so good.
Such a great show.
Man, listen, this has been great, dude.
Yeah.
This has been great.
That's
I
super
love the
awesome.
catch up, dude. I'm glad you're doing well for yourself,
Yeah,
dude.
thanks.
I always try, you know, we don't really, you know, talk, but sometimes you know, people pop into your head and you're like, I wonder what the fuck they're doing, you know? And I guess you could jump on Instagram and find out, but I didn't know about Haney Wood.
Yeah.
So, you know, you learn something new, and I'm glad you're doing that. And dude, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, you found your way. You made enough to survive in skateboarding, and then you took it and went in a whole different direction. It's fucking rad.
Yeah, I admire that, dude. That's
Yeah.
like a tough thing to do, to save your money within, you know, the realms of skateboarding, you know, on the day to day.
I was still living with my brother. Like I was sharing a room with him and making all that money, like Billabong and Osiris, and I was spending none of it.
Yeah,
and
that's so rad.
my buddy was like, dude, you could buy fucking a Porsche cash, and I'm like, and then what?
Yeah, for what?
Then what? Like I have that for a little while. I wound up buying a house, and
Smart.
then, you know,
Best investment.
dude, Popo.
Yeah, Popo.
You know, I was like, okay, that's what I do with all this. Like that's the thing. And
Man,
yeah,
if I saved up all my money, I could have a couple $1,000s right now. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. But dude, Daniel, can we give you some 9 Club stuff to take home? I know
Yeah,
you
totally.
you got room in your suitcase? Yeah, Kelly, we do that.
I just didn't want to bring a whole bunch of, I don't know.
What size t-shirt?
And plus, I didn't know what to put it back.
A couple
in.
things.
Got to
Medium probably.
medium. Yeah. He'll
On
grab
a good day.
He'll grab. You look like a small. No? Okay.
Man.
Okay. No, but it's great, man. I love.
Mike can rock a small, but you see some
wouldn't look
bulges
right.
that I don't. Yeah, I'm not trying to accentuate.
Man. No, but it's rad. I loved catching up with you. And
Yeah, this was cool,
It
man.
brought me back to Hot Rod days, and what a good. The fondest memory that I have of Hot Rod, minus everything that went on there, was there'd be so many kids in that shop, man. And Dan Druff would be so over it, and he'd actually put on a Hot Rod video, Hot Rod cars.
Oh, right.
He put that on the tape, and everybody would leave.
Yeah.
And the people that knew would stick around, but that shop would empty out so quick when the skate video turned off and it was actual Hot Rod car video. He knew how to work it.
Yeah, totally.
And he knew, he's like, watch this,
Yeah.
and boom, everybody would leave. You know?
Yeah, it's time for them to go skate.
Time to go skate, dude.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
time
you
to
know?
put on the freaking.
The
Hot Rod
only
video.
thing that
Yeah.
I don't know about that shop was, somebody else owned it. There was another owner, and I don't know if he skated or anything. He was just
He
a
did not
dude.
skate. No, he.
That was the only thing that
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know if it bothered me, but it was just kind of a disappointment when there wasn't like a skater owned business.
Yeah.
He was all about the skaters. He let the skaters do everything. Thank you, Kelly. He let the skaters do everything that they wanted to do, but it still wasn't like skater owned.
Yeah.
It was like this dude.
Right.
Rad dude. I don't know, but still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I felt
I
like
feel-
Dan Druff owned it. I'm sure he got that a lot.
In all honesty, I think he probably benefited the most.
Yeah.
Like it still benefited Dan and Matt and everyone financially.
For sure.
And to me, like I felt similarly, but that made it possible. Like
Awesome.
what they did, especially did for me, like wherever that came from,
Right.
it found its place. Like without that, like I said,
Well, it
like I
wasn't
couldn't hate it the same way I couldn't hate on Billabong, you know,
Right.
like it just
It wasn't the owner, but Matt, Dan, all the people they harvested, not harvested. They made a community.
oh yeah.
They made a
100%.
community.
It was
you know?
awesome.
They fostered a community, I should
Yeah.
say.
There you
They
go.
were the foster parents. Dude, Daniel, first of all, thank you, bro.
Yeah,
Dude,
thank you.
Such a pleasure, dude. We're gonna give you
Good to
some
see you
9
again,
Club
man.
stuff
You too, bro.
Yeah.
to take
Definitely.
home with you. I know you enjoyed the nice little whiskey here. We got a nice little Yeti
was nice.
flask, dude. I know you don't drink often, but when you do, put it in the flask.
little flask
Get a,
here.
Take it on the go.
Take it
Yeah.
on the go if you want, man. Just don't, maybe bring it to, some nice beach somewhere, man. Have a nice little swig of whiskey, bro.
I'll take it to Yosemite with me
There
this
you
weekend.
go.
There you go.
Perfect. Shout out to the 9 Club Yeti thermos, bro. This is good. Keep hydrated out there. I know it gets hot.
I like this.
Gets hot out there.
This will get used for sure. I love that it's you guys.
Hot or
too.
cold.
Oh, and the beauty of the Yeti stuff is they're dishwasher safe.
Yeah.
Did you know a lot of the bottles and stuff, they are not
They're
dishwasher
not-
safe?
yeah,
It's crazy.
It's true.
I don't know. Did you ever get the cover?
Yeah.
What cover did you get?
I
Strength?
got Big Brother.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I actually
Pull up the Big
I
Brother
actually
cover.
shot that cover
Seriously.
So I pitched that article. I pitched the cover. I pitched the article, and they were like, "Yeah, fucking go shoot it." And so I set the camera on a tripod, and my buddy Brock, took the picture.
No way.
Yeah. So I set up all the lights. I arranged all the people in the background. Because it was like I'd had that Dukes of Hazzard board, and so I was like, I got to jump a creek.
That's
And we
crazy.
literally scouted creeks for it was summer when we went back, and I went back there because I wanted to shoot my first pro interview in Arkansas. And so, we found that creek and set some plywood up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now wait, was Brock like a known photographer, or was he
No,
just
he's a friend of mine in
homie.
Arkansas. Yeah, these are all my homies. And so,
That's so sick.
to me, it was a way of getting all of them on the. You know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
they all get to be like, fucking. I was on the cover of
so
a magazine.
rad.
Yeah.
Dude, shout out to Big Brother, dude.
And if you see the insert, there's another. We did an Arkansas article in this. So I had an interview and I shot so I shot photos too.
Yeah.
And so I shot an article on Arkansas. And the opening spread was us dressed as rednecks with like an A and then an R and with spray
Arkansas,
paint. We had spray
right.
painted ourselves.
Wow.
And one of my buddies, he went by White Trash McGillicuddy. Like that was his nickname. And so he wrote White Trash. So it says Arkansas White Trash.
Dude, on the cover, Daniel Haney, Playmates, Slipknot, farting.
Also Big Brother. Oh, I have
On the
6
cover.
fingers. I have 6 fingers on my left hand, the
They
front side
photoshopped
grab.
it.
They always sprinkle in something extra.
They Monique, the girl sitting on the bank, she's got a black tooth. The baby that's there, they extended his head, to like make it look
Dude,
super
They
redneck.
did it to
Dubs
me
knows
too.
about
They
that.
did it to me too, dude. I felt a certain way. I think I said something about this. I felt a certain way at the time, and I was like, man, they're just having fun.
Yeah.
I had my own moment with them. Like when I got kicked off Foundation, I can't remember who it was. Whoever was writing the news section just brutalized me. He was like, Daniel Haney got the Foundation knocked the fuck out from under him, blah, and I was like, I remember we shot this arcade ad, and we all had characters it was like a lineup. We were supposed to be in a lineup, and I was like, I'm going to be the Unabomber. And on my package, it had Mark McKee or something at Big Brother. Like, I'm sending this.
You were
mother-
pissed.
Yeah. I wasn't. I was pissed about getting kicked off Foundation.
Yeah.
I wasn't pissed about that. Really, it was more just like a fun little.
Yeah, poke back.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Big Brother, those dudes fucking hooked
they
me
were.
up, man. Like that'd be biting the hand that feeds you, you know. But I wasn't gonna I would go into that, like I shot for them. I was in the office all the time, so it was just like,
Fuck with them.
yeah, man. One time I went in there, and there's pictures. Preston and I had gone to Mexico, and we had taken just vacation pictures. And I get in there, and our vacation pictures are on Tremaine's desk, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, where'd that come from? I know I didn't bring those to you guys. And they're like, oh yeah, Preston was up here showing us pictures and blah, blah. A month later, there's a picture of me on the subscribe page fucking hanging off a tree by a vine in the Mexico jungle with photoshopped monkeys and shit all around me.
That's what
That's
they
not
did.
my intention with shooting that photo, that it was going to be the subscribe page for Big Brother.
That's what Big
Wow.
Brother did.
Dude, totally. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was just fun
Oh,
with them.
for sure.
But,
Well, if you did have a 9 Club sticker on your board, we would have given you $20 back then. But now it's $20 for Thrasher. So if you do end up on the cover of Thrasher with the sticker on your board, $20.
Boom.
Dude, shout out to Skull Candy, man. This is put this around your waist, buckle it to your little buckle here. This is the kilo, have some tunes going wherever you are, maybe in Yosemite this weekend.
yeah, totally. I'm super into tunes.
And then a shirt, 9 Club shirt, man.
rock
We got
that.
you.
I like
and we
green
got
too.
other stuff too. If that doesn't suit you, we got some other stuff. This is just for now. Also, who thought that you'd be getting new sponsor, bro?
Boom.
But
I know, on Photosynth and all kinds of shit,
this
dude.
this is huge. This is huge.
I'm back in.
We started a bulk.
Look
The
out.
door is open.
We started
Transition.
a bulk company. This is Nuts and Bolts, 9 Club Nuts and Bolts. You are officially on the team. We have the biggest team
yeah.
in skateboarding. Whoever sits there gets to automatically be on the team. Doesn't matter if they have another bolt sponsor. They own a bolt company. They are on our team. Okay, so this is your first package.
Dude, like I said, back in.
It only lasts. This is 6 months each, so it'd be about a year.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
come back in a year and get another box.
Dude, my boards, I ride a board for like over a year now.
You're a perfect demographic.
Yeah, totally.
you go.
Those will be on
a
there for
team-
10 years.
for a team rider.
Hey.
People that are buying the bolts though, like you should buy one. They only last. You should buy one a week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, no, I go through them quick.
Crucial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but you're on the
burn
team.
through
You could,
bolts, yeah.
you're a perfect team
Yeah.
rider. But the people buying them, one a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, one package a week.
You want
Yeah,
that burn
yeah.
week
Yeah.
to be a little faster.
We need to burn. We need to. What do they call it? Burn and turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, to succeed, man. They're bolts.
They're getting
Yeah.
low back there, dude.
$4.
We need some more.
We will. We'll have Raj. He'll make some up. Daniel Haney, thank you so much for coming
for
by,
having
dude.
me.
It's been a pleasure. Hey, doors always open. You want to come back in and come kick it with us, dude? Please.
Yeah.
The pleasure's all ours.
Yeah. We got to get a session at the beach curbs.
How long are you in town for?
I leave for Yosemite tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna spend like a week up there.
Okay.
I was thinking about. I'm flying out on the 21st, but I'll be back probably like in a week. So maybe Thursday.
We'll line it
Friday.
up. We'll line it up. Or
Yeah.
we'll go to a courthouse, your favorite spot. Yeah.
Let's not go to Courthouse. I'll totally go to Stoner though. Like I freaking love Stoner.
Stoner? Really? No, we'll go to the
love
beach.
Stoner.
We'll go to the beach.
Yeah. I figured that was more your speed.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Daniel. Dude.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you. You're not here at the table, so.
That's all. I'm here. I'm here.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Good shit.